Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid Health Insurance Program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. Documents needed to apply: your proof of ID, your proof of address, and your proof of income.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, evening, wherever you're watching from. My name is Alfred Amuzu, and this is the Ghana Agenda for February 12, 2022. Today, we are talking about three topical issues. This has been a very newsy week in Ghana, but we are taking, out of everything that happened, we're taking three things to talk about. The last, of course, which we had on our agenda from last week, but we couldn't talk about it. We'll try to cover that this week is, the root cause of coup d'etats in our country. But also, the very important thing that actually happened and is continuing to happen is we've witnessed several attempts on, journalists. They've been picked up, for various things that they may have said on air in one way or the other. We've also just heard that last night, a friend of the show, Mr. Vomawo, has been picked up. He's one of the organizers of Feast the Nation. Apparently, he posted something on his Facebook page about a coup d'etat or something like that, that if E-Levy passed, that even he himself would have to leave a coup, which others are saying really what he meant was that a team of lawyers to take the government to court. But that has been interpreted as him threatening, the peace of the country, and therefore he's been picked up. So the question we have in our mind is, what is happening? Is the media under pressure? Is the government sort of, harassing the media as we speak? And I'll be, of course, presenting these questions to my guest, and we would take that as a first topic. Now, the other thing that we would be tackling, in fact, one of my guests is reaching out to me just quickly. Let me see. Okay, so the other thing we'll be talking about is we've seen activities by government officials, like we saw the E-Levy cake that was being taken to, or that was being cut at a birthday party for, is it a majority whip also, will clarify his position in Parliament, or majority leader in Parliament, to say Chairman Sabonsu. And this is an attempt, I don't know what it is, but what is an attempt to mock the people of this country? Because it is clear that news outlets have done surveys after surveys, and we are finding that a majority of the people are not in favor of the E-Levy. Whether they understood exactly what E-Levy is or not, the sentiments we are getting on the street is people are not in favor of the E-Levy. There was a demonstration last week, but in the middle of all this, in celebrating his birthday, an E-Levy cake was seen on camera being cut by government officials, including the vice president present. And this, we are questioning whether it's just a show of arrogance that we've seen with this government over the years. As we speak, the president is also on a 5-nation tour. He's going to France, Germany, Belgium, to Guyana, to UK, and then back to Ghana. My understanding is the trip to UK, it's, for himself. You know, that's because he's in the European, or he's in Europe, that he would like to make a stop in UK. How is he doing that trip? We'll question, perhaps the cost involved, and whether, again, it goes to the issue of how this government continues to spend at the same time asking Ghanaians to tighten their belts. These will be the three things we talk about. I'll check my studio just to see if my friends are in, or my colleagues who join me on a weekly basis to do justice to the issues we table are in, so that we can start the conversation. If you haven't already done so, please share the link so that others who may benefit from this program can also join. I see my sister Regina already joining. Regina, thanks for joining. We really appreciate you for supporting the Ghana Agenda week by week. Regina is actually from my hometown in Aflau, and we are part of the Aflau Association of North America. So shout out to all my Aflau Association of North America people who will be watching me today. I really appreciate all the support you guys give me on every week when I come to do this show. All right, so let me take a quick break. I think Lifetime Legacy is already in the studio. I'll also be joined today by Paul DeSosu of the NDC from Massachusetts, and Efa Amayao of MPP, all the way from Chicago. If we are lucky, we may have Fuji Kwame, who's with us, who was with us last week, and did so well. So many people love, the way he presented himself. I'm talking in the person of the only blogger with 5 cities. He told me he has some emergency, but he will try to join us. And also Dr. Ato Kwame Danso. Daniel Amposa, also the MPP, may join us in the course of the program. But the 3 topics we're talking about: the media. What is happening? Why are so many people getting picked? Could it be that some of the things we'll talk about today may also put us at danger of being picked? Should we show up in Ghana, or should we actually fly to Ghana? So these will be things that I discuss with my guests, and of course, cautiously, so that we are not putting ourselves at risk as we try to deliberate on these issues. Now, if you're watching, please share the program so others can join. Mr. Lifetime Legacy, welcome to the show. How are you doing today? And I see you are in red. Are you a Manchester United supporter?
No, I'm not a supporter of any of the European teams.
Okay.
Not entirely into football too, but I love anytime. My appetite for football only comes when Ghana is playing with another country.
Ghana and football is a bad word at this point. So
yeah,
you don't want to use those two. Those two, or say Ghana and football in the same sentence. It kind of, raises a lot of emotions in people. Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break and then see if our other friends are, ready to join the shows, and then, or wait for the other friends to join the show so we can start. In the meantime, I like, your background, your picture, everything is looking perfect. So, listeners, we would be right back to continue the show.
Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid Health Insurance Program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. Documents needed to apply: your proof of ID, your proof of address, and your proof of income.
Just one more pic, JJ, please.
Oh, Mama. Really?
Smile. It's not every day my eldest son graduates.
I couldn't have done it without you.
All without Auntie Jane's generous support.
Here is to Auntie Jane's well-appreciated World Remit money transfers.
World Remit Corporation is licensed as a money transmitter by the New York State Department of Financial Services, as a foreign transmittal agency by the Massachusetts Division of Banks, number FT 1179663, and licensed by the Georgia Department of Banking and Finance, NMLS 1179663, Massachusetts Foreign Transmittal License, FT 1179663.
World Remit, a better way to send money. Download the app or visit worldremit.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. Lifetime Legacy. Thanks for hanging in there. Lifetime Legacy, let's do quick preliminary words from you. How has your week been? This has been a very newsy week. We know the demonstrations for E-Levy just took place. I'm also hearing about the issue with Mr. Vomawo at the airport yesterday, and I couldn't understand what is going on with that. I know there was accusations before that he makes some unpalatable comments about coup d'etats, etc., and for which during the time that they were about to embark on the nation demonstration, something like a similar thing came out, for which I believe he was actually invited for. But this time around, again, my understanding is he had a Facebook post, which may be misunderstood, or maybe it's the right of security forces or security apparatus to want to understand exactly what he means by that he will lead a coup himself. The times we are in are kind of just, such that such comments should be made with a lot of caution. But my understanding is he's been picked up so far, and his whereabouts is not known. The promise is that he'll be arraigned on Monday, which means he's spending his whole weekend in jail. What do you know about this, and what are your feelings? What are you hearing, etc.? But this is actually what we are going to go into in detail. Give us your preliminary comments, how your week has been, and some of the news that you've heard this week that perhaps we are not talking about, but you like to share a little bit on before we start the program, as we wait for our friends to join us as well.
Thank you, Alfred, and thank you for the opportunity. Right. And I also like to extend my appreciations to our viewers and listeners for making time today also to be with us. My week has been very stressful. It's not easy to combine work and academics stuff together and be doing. It's not easy. But managing it's what the situation has been. As the elders will say, if you don't want it, if you want something good for yourself, you need to sacrifice. So I'm in a mood or situation of the sacrificial time. And I know with God, when all is said and done, I'll be victorious one day and successfully go through one day. So that is how my week has been, and I know it will continue to. I fully completed the course I'm pursuing. Now, Alfred, coming back to the main question you asked, it's unfortunate that our brother Vomawo have been picked by a Akufo-Addo-led administration. It looks like now even if you are a child and you are playing Chaskele and they hear even a knockout sound, they have to go after it. As the saying goes, I don't know what they are afraid of. If there is something they should be afraid of, it is the high cost of living, the economic hardship. Those are the grounds upon which coups that have been organized in the previous passed in Ghana was successful. I was very young when the last school in Ghana was organized. I mean, in 81. Even though by then I was in existence, but I was very young then. So the conditions for which those schools came, right from 69 to the last one, 82, those are the conditions that exist now. So if there is something the government should be afraid of, or Nanado-led administration should be afraid of, it should rather be afraid of the economic situations, the cost of living, the hardship, the unemployment. Those are the things I think that poses a danger to the security of the country. Prior to the exit of Kufuor government, Kufuor's national security minister then, in the person of Francis Poku, conducted a research, and he says that what poses a threat to the security of the country, Ghana, it is unemployment. Quite recently, about sometime somewhere last year, when Honorable Kandapa launched a book about the security situation of the country, the major security threats of the country in that book that was launched was unemployment.
Okay.
Yeah, and we know what unemployment have contributed to some countries within our neighboring countries, what unemployment have been able to plug the nation in. I think, to be precisely, Algeria, where a graduate who have a PhD or master's, a lot of them were unable to get job for themselves.
Right.
And in trying to do that, one person set himself ablaze, and that brought the what do you call
Arab
it?
Spring.
The Arab Spring, yes. So if there is something that, for me, it will be the breeding ground, or it's fertilizing the ground for any coup d'etat in Ghana, which for me, I don't see it coming, will be unemployment. So if there is something the government should fear, it is his attention and focus should be on high cost of living. People are unable to afford 3 square meals a day. Rent has gone up. Cost of living is going so high. And the key of it is unemployment. As we always say, is that there's a saying that goes that the devil will find a work for an idling hand. So if people cannot bear the hardship, cannot withstand the cost of living, there's no employment, they don't know where the next meal will be coming from. Their landlord or landladies are ejecting them from their houses because they are unable to pay their rent. They've been postponing their relationship that they are in with their boyfriend or girlfriend, who they all anticipate to get married, and all these expectations are not being met. If there is something that will be the breeding ground, those are the things, for me, the government should be worried at. Not a well-educated person like Vomawo who have something to do. I know Vomawo is a lecturer in one of the universities in either UK or US.
UK. Yep.
So not somebody of his caliber, who is somebody who is well-to-do.
But we are not justifying, him unnecessarily, because Vomawo is listened to by a lot of people. He's on news file, so he has a big voice, and so for those of us who have big voice, should also have big responsibilities, right? So that we are not there just saying things that could inflame, because all kinds of people are listening to you, and you don't know how people will act. So again, I guess my point is, we are not encouraging him, or we are not saying that it is okay for him to arbitrarily throw out a word like coup d'etat out there, no matter what he's talking about, considering the times we are in. It is not the right thing to do. Would you agree with that?
Alfred, in as much as I agree with you, yesterday, let me give you a practical example.
Right.
I was having a conversation with a colleague at work last night from Guinea, Conakry. You see, in the course of the discussion, he was so happy Ghana is peaceful. Okay, in our course of conversation, I was telling him that the days where coups d'etats are successfully in Ghana, it's over.
Okay.
Ghanaians, you and I will know very well. Ghanaians are people who will talk so much, will express their frustration, they will express their anger.
Yeah.
But one single thing that I have noticed from a Ghanaian is that they will not want a blood of a fellow Ghanaian to be shed.
Correct.
For unlegitimate reason.
Correct.
You get it? So correct. No Ghanaian at this material time, for me, will be prepared to stage a coup. You know that there was.
But you never know, right? Ghana has had about how many? 7 attempts at coup or 7 coups in our lifetime, right? So it's tough. Rawlings alone did 3, but prior to Rawlings, there was the one in 1960s. Is it 66 or so? Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown.
Rawlings did 2.
Rawlings did 2. I'm talking about the first one in 66. When Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown, and then after that, every 2 years from then, we will be having coup until Rawlings, when that actually stopped. So we have well documented. Ghanaians are now timid, like people actually say. Ghanaians are now as peaceful as people actually say. So let's not fool ourselves. It's likely for us to also, go down the path.
Alfred, is it where I am coming from?
It's not any different from Burkina Faso, Burkinabe, or Malian. We are not any different from those people. Let's get it clear.
Yeah, I agree with you. But then, you see, to every stage in a country's life, there is a kind of leaders and situations that call for certain actions.
Right.
Okay, so practically, let me give you a scenario. In the 50s, 40s, we have people who are revolutionists who will lay down their life, not necessarily through the gun, to fight for their nation. That period or dispensation,
right,
like what I'm referring to, the era of Kwame Nkrumah, the Patrice Mulumbes, I mean, those freedom fighters, their era was over. You got it. That is the kind of leaders or generations we have. Now, when you look at the mid 70s all the way to 80s and late 90s, at that time also, the kind of situation, the environment and what the situation was then, it's cool. You get it. But when you look at late 90s all the way to 2000 and to now,
right,
until the recent ones that we are having in our neighboring countries, you notice that there have been a long stability as far as those. So what I want to say is that, yes, we have a history of coups in Ghana and other parts of Africa, other parts of African countries in the past that were rampant, unlike it is now. You get it? So what I want to say is that the generation or the situations we find ourselves that now, Ghanaian would like to talk more. Ghanaian would like to express his anger. But what I know from where I sit, and as somebody who have been in politics from 1996 to now and continue to be, when you listen to the ordinary person, you notice that they are prepared to talk more. They are prepared to express their anger more than to go out with this thing. But like you said, I am not entirely ruling that fact out. But in Ghana, for me, for now, if there is somebody to state that or to state or to bring instability, then it will be the government's own actions that will warrant.
Well, sometimes I think we become a bit, how do I put it?
Complacent.
We are spoiled, and I think it could be because our security forces are quick to react on any intelligence at all that they pick, right? They pick some intelligence, but that, like somebody says, like beating your baby because your baby tells you they are going to ride your bicycle. But I'm saying that we are quick to react in terms of our security forces. They are quick to get out there and perhaps see somebody, bring people in for questioning, and perhaps that may be what is contributing to our relative peace. It's not for the lack of the desire to actually, undertake coup d'etats in our country. The probabilities, and even, just this particular regime, there has been a couple of arrests, people have been taken in and questioned. So is it because our security forces, perhaps they've been very effective in dealing with these issues, or it is just that we don't have that desire no more? Because like I said, Ghana is not any different from any of these countries that are currently going through these things. And also it could be because we've seen relative, economic growth. Economic growth has been quite stable. Ghana has continued to grow well, properly. The unemployment situation is not as dire as we saw in the 80s, where we were actually declining instead of growing. Now we grow. We may not be growing as fast as, we want for the country, but it is not as bad as, we had in the 70s, where the coups were rampant. So I'm still believing that the desire is there. Now, it may not necessarily be that desire, resides in somebody like Vomawo, but the point I'm trying to make is it is important that somebody with such a big voice, like yourself, on this program, you speak and several people listen to you. Several people are listening to you right now, and we are grateful. So I would say that there is some responsibility that comes with the opportunity you have to be on a program like this and say things, right? And when you are exercising that responsibility, you need to be cautious. And this is where I would fault somebody. If we put Vomawo if we say Vomawo is very smart, very intelligent guy, a lawyer of his stature, he should be very, responsible as well, so that he's not throwing words that currently, he should die. Words that he should know are currently.
I've read. In as much as I agree,
because the COVID, if you look at the predictions of very important journals who analyze our neighborhood, they make it clear that because of the COVID, the economic situations in the sub-Saharan region is getting worse, and the youth population is on the increase. And when you bring those two together, economic situations, because look at our country, things are getting tougher and tougher on a daily basis. Gas prices is continuing to go up. Now we are talking about e-levy, which is going to take extra money out of the pockets of the average person. At the same time, there are no jobs actually, hiring. People are actually even losing jobs. With all that, when you put all that together, there's so much frustration in the system that when you, intelligent as you are, come on TV and you start talking about, you're going to lead a coup yourself, that is inflammatory. That perhaps you need to be called to, wherever you need to go to answer to. And that is my perspective. I don't know if you disagree or you agree with that. I have a few comments.
Alfred, in as much as I agree with you, that we should be responsible in our utterances, our comments, and the things we put out there. What I am saying is that the breeding ground for some of these things are not necessarily, the person need not to be a very influential person to do this. You get it?
Yeah.
And I don't know what, I am glad our security services are proactive. They are not taking chances. But for me, they should be the ultimate responsibility for which will be the breeding ground for some of these things must be the government putting the right things in place, trying to diffuse things that can cause people to come out to be saying some of these things. You get it? Because for me, like I said, Vomawa won't say this. Maybe he got carried by the wind. You get it? Having seen his one of his member of his group, like Captain Smart and a few others who have been picked for this week, he just carried away. He was carried away by those things. But for where I sit, I don't see him as somebody that can threaten the stability.
You don't think he's capable of successfully executing?
No. I don't see him as a threat.
All right, somebody is helping you out here. My sister Regina is saying, we were in this country when Kennedy and Japan said they should, of course, she's not trying to use the word, but the word really is they should kill airwaves.
And for airwaves and guns. Yeah.
Yeah, he declared wars on who, went after him. Of course, Kennedy has been volatile. Kennedy has said so many, and it's not only Kennedy, so many people, including even the current president, made utterances when they were in opposition about things that, of course, they could have also been invited for. But it doesn't preclude the fact that if somebody is doing it currently, the fact that somebody did it before they were not invited does not stop the security services from inviting another person who is currently doing the same thing, especially in the times we are in. All right, we've seen about how many coups in our sub-region in just a span of a month, almost 2 or 3, right? So the question is, is the security service, are they overstepping their boundaries? Are they, unnecessarily inviting people they shouldn't be inviting? Because, of course, there is also a lady who is actually making some outrageous allegations against the president. And while we are talking about Vomawa, we know that what is the name of the other guy? Is he Bossiansa, also they call him the news? Bossiansa has also been picked up for allegations he made about the first lady. So in picking up these people, the security forces been selective, and if that is the case,
so like I was
saying, that itself can be something that angers people more.
That is it. So, like I was saying earlier on, those are the breeding ground. Rather, the government should be worried. The government must tread cautiously, okay? Because some of these guys who have the space of the media have followers, okay? Like Captain Smart and then Bobby and Sam, they get opportunity to speak behind the microphone. The last thing an ordinary person on the street will not tolerate that it will be taken away from him or her is the person's voice to express his frustration or anger.
Freedom of speech, yeah.
You get it. That is so. If there is, like I was saying earlier on, if there is something that will create a much tension in the country to lead to those things, those are the things. Because don't forget that these guys who sit behind the microphone I do listening to Bobby Ansan, and the issue for his speak particular on that particular day, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised him be picked on that day, because when he started the program, I started listening to the program with him. I started listening to the program to the end. So I was not surprised that the reason why he was picked that particular day for me was not, even though it's been alleged that because of a comment made against the first and second lady, that was the reason why he was picked. But if you listen to the program on that particular day, I think that was the reason why he was picked. But this issue was just used to be a cover-up. Because I listened to the program. He was questioning the neutrality of the police. He was questioning the neutrality of the courts. He was questioning the fairness of the government. Okay, where certain comments were being made by the NPP fools, and they make it, they go out free. And then Captain Smart make a comment, he was picked. The other guy working in a Power FM who had been jailed for 2 weeks was picked. So Obie was kind of angry, and he even said it on air that he's there, he's waiting. If they like, they should come and pick him. And he made that assertion on air that very day.
Okay, I see Paul is trying to join us, but let me take a few comments here quickly. Paul, thanks for joining the show. Let me take a few comments quickly, and then we'll bring Paul in on this issue. So Kofi Sichope, he's watching us. He says, keep the fire burning, bro. Thanks, Kofi, for watching. Please share the link so others can watch. Our brother, Atokwamina Bedu, who was on the show 2 weeks ago, says, when you were referring to, is it the Algeria you said, or something about
Algeria?
The Algeria, he's, I think correcting that. It says it's not Algeria, it's Tunisia instead, for the Arab Spring. And then he also came back, he made a few comments, actually. He came back and said, Ghanaians are not angels. We have committed atrocities in this country. It is only by grace that we are exempt from deep civil unrest. And that is very correct. Like we stated, we've had about 7 different successful coups in our country, and so we are capable, very capable.
Okay, this also is bringing another food for thought.
Yeah, can you hold that? Let me just run through the comments so that we can tackle the food for thought. So hold that for me, please. Kwesi B. Nimo, who's also one of our presenters on ACO Radio. Sports presenter, actually, I think is going to be on tomorrow. So if you watch the Manchester United today, where we will lead, concede, then draw the game and repeat it again, it's just frustrating for you now if you're a supporter of the Manchester United. We are actually, if you're a Manchester United supporter, I think you should be talking to the Arsenal supporters and learning from them how they endure all this torturous time and continue to still support their team. All right, so that is just a some dig right there. I took Kwamina Bedu against his Rollins coup d'etat. Oh my God! So he's giving you the dates for all the times that Rollins has actually conducted a coup d'etat in Ghana. All right, and then Kwesi B. Nimo again says happy Sabbath. So Kwesi, you are SDA, and so that means your Sabbath is actually today. We are grateful that you still are able to take the time to join us.
Who is that, my brother? I would like to know him. I'm also an SDA.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. So just for the record, ACO Radio, which is one of the channels on which we are broadcasting, is actually owned by a group of SDA members out of Chicago. So most of our folks like Akwesinimo, even I think Ato, Komina Bedu, etc. Ato, who you've been fighting with the last time, is actually an SDA. So he's on our platform, and I'm sure you can reach out to him directly and talk sometime. Okay, great. So Regina says we were in the country. Okay, so I think I read that where she said, Commander Japan has been saying all kinds of crazy things, and not a single time has he been invited, and that is a very valid point, right? It's a security outfit. Are they being selective when they do these invitations? I think our brother Afar has also just joined us. We are grateful. Atokwamina Bedu again says he may not be capable of executing coup d'etat, but he is capable of inciting one, and that is exactly the point. If you have a big opportunity like the one we get to come and speak on issues that can be heard by several people, or if you are if you have a big voice, you should also have a big responsibility, period. And then it says, in fact, we are all capable of inciting a civil unrest. Words are powerful. That is why we all need to bridle our words and utterances. That cannot be, we couldn't even say that much better. He has captured it exactly the way I am also thinking about it. Kwaku Sket said the voice is his voice. So why go for Ohiniba? Okay. All right, Kwaku Sket, I'm sure he's worried about going to Ghana because, he says so many different things there. I'm sure too many people are not happy about. Let's welcome our brother, the one and only.
I hope he's not running away.
Kakape, who's the spokesperson for the new patriotic party, is on the road right now. Hey, my brother, I hope you are driving safely. Of course, we want to hear your voice, but we want to hear it with you being safe first. So safety first. If you need us to give you some time to, get to your destination and join us, we would be happy to take that. Prerogative is yours. If you want to discuss or you want to jump in a conversation, you are welcome to. But welcome to the show, Efa. Now, Efa, maybe you should let you just keep your eye on the road, right? Keep listening to us and jump in anytime.
There's a lot of people are disturbing me a lot. One second. I wanted to be home and do this.
Yeah, no worry. We'll give you how long you think it take? 10, 20 minutes? Just hang with us, and then when you get home, we can pick you up.
Yeah, I'll suggest you should get home safe.
No, I'm good. We can go on.
Okay, so if the topics we are discussing are one that the media is under some tremendous pressure currently. There are so many people, very popular ones, especially. Media space being picked up. It makes it so that even we sitting here and doing these shows ought to be a lot careful about the things we discuss, right? We are not necessarily. I don't think we should be gagged. I don't think we should be prevented from discussing the topical issues, but we should do it in a very respectable manner, carefully, and being aware that what we say is being heard by so many people, and the power of our words can actually go beyond, just the small cycle that we think we know, and actually incite people. Notwithstanding that, do you think the media is actually being harassed? Because some of these things could be just, these people could have just been invited and not be handcuffed and in a Rambo style grabbed out of their studios, etc. Does it look like we are kind of eroding our democratic gains over the years, where we are touted as one of the most peaceful places to live in Africa?
Yeah, thank you very much, and sorry for being late. I want to thank you for the opportunity anytime we come on air to air our views and to contribute towards development in the country in all aspects of our life. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you perfect.
Perfect. Yeah. So, hey, greetings to Lifetime Legacy. Where is Paul? Paul couldn't make it.
Paul is on the road as well. He's tried to join a couple of times, but I think he's having connectivity issues. Maybe your government is there unplugging his things. Your reach is long.
All right. Yeah. I hope he joins. So, one of the things we all should protect is the media space. That is where we have the opportunity to vent our views and to contribute towards development, to criticize the government, and to bring out the ills in the society, right? So if there is any measure to make sure this is taken away, we have to fight back and make sure that we take it. But in Ghana, I haven't seen anything like that, like the media being taken away or something like that. No.
We just have about 4 arrests in a span of a week. I think Afa is frozen there. Okay. So, Afa, you heard him last time. Afa is back. Afa, but in the last week alone, we've had about 4 arrests. And that has just been culminated yesterday by an arrest of the Feast the Nation, one of the Feast the Nation organizers, Mr. Vomawo.
So you gotta look at them individually. Don't box it all. Under normal circumstances, when the 9/11 happened, right, there will be a couple of arrests because of that particular incident, the volume of it. Okay, so don't look at it from the perspective of within 4 weeks, this has happened, right? You look at them individually and see if there is a justification for their arrest. And we can pick them one by one, okay? So if we pick them one by one, then we can go. Asepa boss made allegation and he even came to apologize. But the authorities find it so serious that there was the need for them to further probe into that, right? You are bordering on the security of the state. And then you're going to talk about Bobie, you know, made serious allegations, and then the security of the state think that, you know, you ought to be arrested. And I don't know if you want to add, what is his name? Is it Boama? That Boama guy? Yeah, similar, okay? All these are serious allegations. You sit on radio and there's a case going on, and you come and you say that the president has had a meeting with the people, you know, having judging the case. This is a serious, this is something that could plunge the country into a civil war. So when you are called in such high profile cases, you should be able to give evidence so that we deal with people that are, you know, that are meddling with in the affairs of state agencies, you know, operating. But they call you, and each time it was a case. Now, when we come to the fix the country guy, right? You know, we all have had disagreements with our governments. Rawlings, Kufuor, name them, Mills, Mahama, Nanado. Okay, you express your views, and in all of these governments, people that express their views unconstitutionally, illegally, they were taken care of. They were dealt with. Okay, so we should learn. We shouldn't provide.
I don't think so, though. For instance, we had Komina Japan, who's a sitting member of parliament, make claims that the current IGP has knowledge about the killer of a journalist.
Alfred.
He hasn't been invited by anybody.
Alfred. And also to add, so that Efra addressed that statement. When Nanado was in opposition, we heard Nanado is on record to say that if ABCD is not done, Ghana will be like Afghanistan. What about that comment also? What was the situation of Afghanistan then?
But it also doesn't mean that under the previous administration, people were not invited by the police. I mean, people were invited, but we are kind of isolated issues, right?
So listen, there is a difference between, because of what is going on, Ghana will be like this, and because of what is going on, I will make Ghana like this. There's a difference in that statement. So, I mean, there's a difference in that statement, okay? And so there is also that political statement, right? That is made by that leader that you cannot really, you know, do anything about, okay? We have had that, right? That, you know, he's a leader. Maybe somebody might have talked to somebody somewhere. I don't know. I cannot talk about that. But yes, it is true that others have made serious statements that, you know, based on whatever, they are not able. Don't just pinpoint to Mahama. Don't just pinpoint to Nanado, that Nanado made this or that. Okay? There are serious statements. Recently, there was somebody that said that they even if they have to kill, they will be killed. An NDC communicator. I don't know if that guy has been invited, right? I mean, you heard that. So I don't know what criteria they use, okay? But they are the experts and they determine all these kind of stuff. Okay, but for me, when they do it, we should give them the benefit of the doubt. Do they have a case? Yes. Do they need to add more? We should go and make the report, like go and complain, so they will add more. Don't say because this guy they didn't do anything to this guy, that they shouldn't do anything to that guy. Okay, they are the experts and they do it. And in the past, they've made arrests, they've not made arrests in certain cases, and we don't know the criteria they use. Okay, but we need to be careful. You've been given an opportunity to do something. Don't abuse it. We've come from far. Rawlings used to bamboozle us in the revolutionary days until we were able to fight and get this freedom. Why Why are we putting ourselves in such a situation as to result in this freedom being taken back? But you see, it is typical of human life. Okay, we tend to forget where we're coming from. We meddle and get ourselves involved in some of these things, and then boom, we go back and have to fight and come back. It is typical of human life, but I hope that is not where we want to get to. Go back to the military days, go back to the days where, authorities will come after us, try to take out some of these freedoms, and then something will happen to us. It is bad, and we need to guard against it.
All right.
Okay.
It is bad. Yes, it is bad. We need to guard against it.
If comments made by people could be a threat to the security of the nation, then Nanado by now shouldn't have been a president. Okay. We were in the country in 2012. Nanado brought some guys from South Africa and Serbia to come and train their security force. Is that not a threat to our security? We're in a country prior to 2012 election, prior to 2016 election. Nanado says that if he's calling that Ghana, the situation that created the Arab Spring, Ghanaians are finding themselves in that situation. So if the next election, you don't win the next election, Ghana will be like that situation. He said it on Peace FM. Okay, early morning, hosted by Kwame Sefakai. Canada, Japan. I think one of the listeners have made reference to Canada, Japan declaring war. We have on record Samia Wuku says that if election is not declared unto their favor, the youth of the MPP should find should pick any other thing that they can use to harm citizenry. What are so what are so threatening than some of these comments? You see, like I was saying earlier on, this is becoming a food for thought. Unless Nanado is indirectly telling us that when he was in opposition or he was outside the country, don't forget that when Rawlings was in government, there were 32 attempt coups under Rawlings when Rawlings was in government that were unsuccessful.
I'm not sure about that number, but you're saying 32.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there were about 32 unsuccessful coup attempts during the Rawlings era, which were not successful. Unless we are being told today that Nanado and his ally in those days, when they were living outside Ghana, were part of the people who were inciting or instigating or financing or trying to, you get it, promote some of this kind of situation.
So let me ask, what do you think is which is our third topic for the day? What are the root causes of this coup? I want us to discuss that. What makes people actually?
No. Let me, if I can answer him, You see, right. When we come to these things and we politicize this, it is Nanado, it is this. There were people that were arrested, media men, whatever, under all the governments. There are media men and all these people that are currently, as we're speaking, there are coup plotters that have been arrested, journalists, whatever. So it is not peculiar to a particular government. And talking about statements that have been made that have not been investigated or that have not been dealt with, it is not related to only this government. Okay? What did we know here on the Fuswampofu tape? Right? We heard it. He's under trial anyway. But as much as possible, right? It is not everything that we gotta politicize. You see, it takes away the forward looking out of the conversation. If you come here and you're telling us that it is only an Nanado that this is happening, that is a shame, and that does not really discuss the intellect or it is only the Nanado that the journalist has been killed, that the chief has been killed, or this person has been killed. You are not doing an intellectual discussion, so you cannot just go pick up incident that happened under one place or that currently happened. Push it. Let me finish.
What I want to say is that he who called for equity should come with a clean hand. Let me give you a practical example.
Okay, but okay. Hold on. Lifetime legacy wants to tell us that if the police is taking an action, then it is the president that literally took a phone and told, so that under Mahama took a phone and called the IGP then that this person is insulting me, that person is insulting me, so go and arrest him. But that is not the case.
Okay, so
I'm telling you, that is not the case. Is that what Mahama was doing? Are you privy to any information that Mahama was picking up phone and instructing people here and there as if certain agencies don't know what to do?
Let me answer that question. What I am privy to is that.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
What I am privy to is that in 2016, okay, Captain Smart did worse than what he's doing now under Mahama, but he was not picked. That is what I'm privy to.
It doesn't mean he can continue to do that.
But Nanado was happy then when he was
okay. He did worse by whose criteria?
You get
he did work by your criteria. Who did he make? Who did? Okay, but he did work. He did work by your criteria. He favored you. He went to report things to favor you. He did work by whose criteria?
Manasseh Azuri Awuni against Mahama.
No, pick one after the other.
Says that
pick one after the other.
Awarding government contract. A whole lot of things. Akufo-Addo himself was on radio saying that
has anybody picked up Manasseh? Has anybody arrested Manasseh? Has anybody arrested Manasseh?
Manasseh had to run out of the country.
Those guys said worst thing during Mahama time.
Why is he back? Okay, why is he back? Because the situation still exists. Why did he come back?
You see,
why did he come back?
Let's try to address the issue of
Alfred.
Yeah, you see, you guys just camouflage and absorb.
Is it not ironic that what do you call it? Captain Smart could say all manner of things against Mahama to the extent that it even cost Mahama's administration, but Mahama never uttered a word. Is it not ironic that
I have never heard NDC saying that they lost the election because of Captain Smart. You are saying it right now. That is a lie. Meanwhile, you have an official report that told you why you lost. Did you mention Captain Smart's name? And as if we don't know what made you lost.
You see, on the eve of election, 2016 election,
the issue of
let me make this last one.
But we'll take a break when we come back, you do that.
Just one more pic, JJ, please.
Oh, Mama, really?
Smile. It's not every day my eldest son graduates.
I couldn't have done it without you.
All without Auntie Jane's generous support.
Here is to Auntie Jane's well-appreciated World Remit money transfers.
World Remit Corporation is licensed as a money transmitter by the New York State Department of Financial Services as a foreign transmittal agency by the Massachusetts Division of Banks, number FT 1179663, and licensed by the Georgia Department of Banking and Finance, NMLS 1179663, Massachusetts Foreign Transmittal License, FT 1179663.
World Remit, a better way to send money. Download the app or visit worldremit.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. My name is Alfred. We've been discussing, the media and the fact that people have been picked left and right for comments that they may have made that are seen to be inflammatory or comments that could be inciting other people or likely to threaten the peace. We are talking about a couple of journalists. I pulled a name to actually show. Let me grab the names for you. I think 4 of them in a space of within a week. Fa disagrees that we should not bunch them together, that we should individually address their issues and see if there's merit in them being invited or them being arrested. We're talking here about Captain Smart. I think he goes to his studio, does his show, and then gets picked up, and it's becoming a daily thing for him, right? I can't remember how many times he's been picked up within the last 2 weeks already. So perhaps he need to watch what he says. hopefully he doesn't have the capacity to actually execute coup d'etat himself. But we are saying that, when you have a big microphone, a big voice, that it should come with big responsibility. So perhaps he should be able to criticize the government by all means, like we do here. Criticize the government all we want, but we do it without insulting. We do it without inciting. And hopefully we don't get picked up when we go to Ghana. Also, Mensa Thompson was also arrested. Kobina Bobie Ansa was the one who we recently saw proud to Voma Wars issue coming out yesterday. And also Ohiniba Boama was also arrested. And we are saying it is becoming one too many. It's becoming one too many. But all right, as we bring that to an end, or that part of the discussion to an end, I have a few comments that I'd like to share. Regina says here that Kwekuske said the voice. Okay, we read that already. Kofi C. Chopper says, what about Canada Japan, referring to the fact that Canada Japan also said things in the past, some of which are quite unpalatable, and he wasn't invited, and so is it a selective amnesia? All right, so he came back and says, is it selective amnesia or vindictiveness? Is it vindictiveness on the part of the police or the security forces? And Afa is answering that by saying that, the president perhaps is not sitting there, behind the phone and calling and saying, listen, pick this person up or pick that person up. So we should not necessarily think that is what is happening. It is not like the president is directing that. When people were, invited to the security forces under Mahama, that we could not say it was because President Mahama was there calling the shots on who gets invited or who doesn't get invited. Paul, thanks again for joining us. If you can hear me, yeah, thank you. Now we have the man. All right. Thanks for joining the show, Paul.
Yeah, Mr.
Okay, let me quickly run through this and then I can bring you on so you can also share your view on this before we move to the next thing. Regina. From the Jubilee House to come and get you, so be careful with that. Kofi says, so why was the IGP and the regional police commander unaware of Bobie's arrest? And that's a good question. I think we'll put that to a file when he comes back. Happy Sabbath again from my brother Ko Nimoko. Thanks for watching the show. Please share the link so others can also join and enjoy the show. Regina said this is Nana Ado, and all this is happening, putting fear and panic in Ghanaians. Yeah, it's possible. We saw what a lot of people reference to what Nana Ado did as a leader of the party when, of course, Paul Afoko and others have to be sacked, and that is just manifesting at the the higher level, at the national level. Now that he's president, that is still that's just what people say. So we'll see. You'll see how Afa comes back to respond to all that. Because he said, please, moderator, we need proper discussion. And anyway, I put them on break, and I see tempers are down now. So I would have good conversation, especially now that my chairman from Massachusetts is in. Is definitely going to return to the studio. All right. Regina says, why can't you go after Sawa Bruni, who why can't you go after Sawa Bruni, your paymaster's mistress? Okay. Regina, careful now. All right, and then finally, Regina says, your Akufo-Addo's birthday gift is loading from Sawa Bruni on the 29th of March. Go fight it. So, of course, what she's referring to today is allegations from videos that was released, I think, a couple of days ago, about Sawa Bruni making claims that she's going to be releasing some videos. This woman is, I don't know. My understanding is because she's a Canadian president, she has a Canadian citizenship, that it is hard for our security to mess with her. Now, all these allegations, right? I'm not making any claim. I have no knowledge exclusively.
But Alfred, on a more serious note.
But Paul, let me bring Paul in first. Lifetime. I know you have something you want to say, but let me bring Paul in, and then as you know, get some water to drink, have Paul take his stab on this issue, and then I'll bring you in to respond. So, Paul, welcome to the show. I know you were on the road earlier trying to join us, and now you're finally home. We are grateful. How's your week gone so far? But we have so many things occurred the past week. Key of them is the one we are talking about, the media and the pressure. What is your take on this? Tell us how your week has been going, and then take the topic. I mean, with regards to the pressure coming from the security forces, as far as our media personalities are concerned. I think you're on mute still, Paul.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect. Okay,
thank you very much. And I once again apologize for joining very late. I was on the road, but I was trying to do everything possible to join and then, put my contribution over here. Let me say over here that, I'm very happy to be part of this show this afternoon. And I don't know what has transpired because I was on the road, but the truth of the issue is that, we are here to build Ghana, and Mother Ghana belongs to all of us. So, it's going to be very, very, unfortunate for, us not being on this show and not putting our messages across. As you've said, I think this week has been the darkest week in the history of Ghana. Why am I saying so? Let's look at what has happened in this week. 3 Ghanaians have been arrested for speaking their mind.
Speaking up.
I am not here, and I'm not going to say that because there's freedom of speech, you can get up and say anything at all you want. Now, the question over here is, we have a human rights lawyer, a self-acclaimed human rights lawyer, who claimed he is the beacon of human rights in the whole of Africa. How come, under his administration, that we are having these attacks on journalists? As we speak, Olen Boama is languishing in jail for 10 days.
Right.
And the conveyor for Fix the Country has been arrested and is still in police custody. Bobe Ansah was picked up on Thursday night and was released yesterday. All these people were trying to express their views, to speak up. How come that the human rights lawyer, under his leadership, all these things are happening? There's a cause for all of us to be worried.
Yes, sir.
And we should all remember that Ghana is a beacon of democracy. These actions that went on or have taken place this week has dent our democracy beacon that we have been achieved, or what that we've achieved so far. People are talking. A lot of people are making a lot of on disparative languages and remark about our country, Ghana. Look, as much as there's freedom of speech, people are supposed to be measured in whatever they say. If anybody has said anything that we think is against the Constitution, the law says, get that person, arraign the person within 48 hours, and that person should face a judge. In the case of the guy who is a conveyor for the Fix the Country, it is over 48 hours now. You are on mute.
Yeah, in the case of Mr. Vomawo,
yeah,
he was picked up yesterday, right? And the courts are, I think the weekends, I don't know if, they sit on
the weekend doesn't count when it comes to the 48 hours.
That is not right. That is not right. Today,
I agree. It's not right, but yes. That's how they are.
Today, I was listening to Newsfar. The big issue, and this famous lawyer, Pebu,
Martin Pebu,
has been to court, and the court has stated that 48 hours, irrespective whether it's a holiday, it's a weekend, it is 48 hours. And as we speak, judges sit on Saturdays, judges sit on Sunday. You remember in the 2008 into 2009 election, when the NPP was losing election, Atachia and his co arranged for the court to sit on a Sunday. So how come, if you've arrested this guy, why can't you get a court? If you think he has made a statement saying that he's going to do coup, why can't you arrange him before a court for the judge to take a decision on him? Why are you keeping him? Look, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, some of us knew him that he was an autocratic, a rowdy person, somebody who doesn't believe in justice. And we thank God that God gave him the opportunity to become the leader of the country. And we are all seeing the sort of person Nana Addo is.
So are you saying that Nana Addo is, who is currently on a 5-nation tour, is somewhere making a call as to who posts what on social media, and that person's be picked up? Is that what you're saying?
He's on a 10-day, so the 10-day tour with a private jet, which they are paying 70,000 a day daily.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We have a whole topic on that. I said we have a whole session on that. Yeah,
I'll come on that. But I am saying, look, Nana Addo think he's smart. He's not smart. Anytime Nana Addo is driving out of the country, that is where he releases his attacking dogs. They go around misbehave so that they will say that the president does not know anything about it. But I am telling you, Nana Addo knows what is going on. He knows about it. Because I remember during President Mills' time and President Mahamad's time, people said disparative issues or things about the presidencies. When they were arrested, they ordered that they should be released. Why haven't the autocratic and, vindictive president, Nana Addo, why hasn't he done that?
Yeah, but okay, let's I wanted to quick dwell on this conveyor of the Fix the Nation a little bit. I quite remember that sometime around, was it sometime last year, when they were trying to embark on the Fix the Country demonstration, which, of course, they were frustrated by the police for some time. He made some comments, and the word coup d'etat was used, for which, we definitely, I came and defended him that, he has no capacity, so he shouldn't be somebody they have such interest in terms of what he says about coup. But this guy's a lawyer. What is his problem? Why is he always talking about coup d'etat? I think every time he turns around or something is happening, he throws coup d'etat in there. Shouldn't he be a lot more careful when he speaks?
Alfred, he spoke in a context. I am not trying to defend him. He has to be, or he has to know better. He's a lawyer, as you said. But he spoke in a context. And the context in which he spoke, he says that if they pass this e-levy through, he will lead a coup.
Again,
okay,
context and the words.
That is in the context. In the first place, the question is, if the security or the national security or the Nana Addo-led national security, if they are serious, okay, this guy traveled to the country, you should have allowed him and put monitoring on him, track his call, monitor his movement, and see if he is capable or if he has any plan or action to do that. That is where you can pick him.
But we can sit on radio and prescribe national security methods or whatever methods the national security should deploy when they're investigating, when they're conducting such investigations.
That's what I'm saying. That they are not even wise. This Nana Addo-led national security, they are not wise. If they were to be wise and smart, they should have even allowed him to enter the country, and then they will put surveillance on him. You understand? I am saying, as I agree to you.
Wouldn't that be too late, especially if he actually has some intentions?
That guy has no
let the security experts give us the tidbits.
That guy has no capability of doing a coup. And Mr. Alfred, I am saying on this platform, nobody can succeed a coup in Ghana looking at the way our country has got into. Nobody. And I am a Democrat. I will never support a coup. We are going to go to the ballot box and use our thumb to decide who becomes our leader.
Right.
I am saying here, and I thought my brother agrees with me that nobody in Ghana can succeed doing a coup in Ghana. It can't happen. It won't happen.
Right.
Like the way that's happening in Burkina Faso and other countries, it cannot happen in Ghana. Ghana, the democracy, where our democracy has gotten to, is going to be a very difficult thing for somebody to overthrow the system because it won't work.
I said the same thing earlier on.
It won't work.
Why wouldn't it work? Let me ask.
Look, Mr. Musu, before you can do a coup, okay, you should be able to take over the military apparatus and the security apparatus. Number one. Number two, you should be able to seize the media airwave. Ask my brother Ifa, how many radio stations do we have in Ghana?
Right.
Can he take
it used to be that, you don't necessarily, once you get GBC, right? Which
no, listen to me. Those times in the 70s, in the 72s, we have only GBC as a major radio station. So it is easy. When you can take control over the country. But in this era, we have how many radio stations we have in Accra? Accra is almost 80 radio stations. Kumasi, count it. Northern region. You cannot succeed when you do a coup in Ghana. It won't work. So I don't know where the fear is coming from. As much as admit that the statement he made, he's a lawyer, should have known better. I believe, and I strongly believe that all of us here are Democrats. Okay? Nobody's going to succeed or support a coup. Me, I will never support a coup. If a coup should happen today, irrespective of who does the coup, I will never support it. I want democracy to work. Let's go by the ballot box. But I am saying, and if I admit, and not if I knows, but because of politics, he will say, no. If I knows that this Nanado-led administration is too aggressive, they are infringing of speech of right, freedom of speech, they are suppressing freedom of speech. And now, if you say anything, you'll be arrested. Let's take the issue of the Thompson, the ASAP boss. He made an allegation. He turned out that the allegation was not true. As gentleman as he is, he came out to apologize and retract. So why are you going after him? For what? In instances, Nanado has lied, has made one allegations. And I'll give you one example. When he was in opposition, Nanado stated that we printed that with $10 million. It turned out that it was not true. Nanado was not a gentleman like the Thompson guy to come out to apologize and retract. So I am saying the Nanado-led administration, they are very vindictive. They are there to go after people who speak after them or who come after them. And if you speak after them or you speak against them, they will come after you. And the culture of silence has taken a seat in the governance of our beloved country. And I'll use this platform to appeal to Ifa to let his people know that it's not going to help. We should believe in democracy. We should allow freedom of speech, irrespective of how the person says it. You can take the person to court. Example, the great ancestors issue like this. We get to know that they said he and his panel made statement about the first lady and the second lady about a project or a land that they are building on. Okay.
Right.
Now, when they went to court, they asked who is the complainant. We didn't know who was the complainant. The question in that aspect was that the first lady and the second lady, if they think the guy has said untruth
defame them,
they could have gone to the court.
Yeah, because there's no more criminal.
A defamation suit against him.
Right.
That's one option. The second option, they should have gone to the Journalists Association to lodge a formal complaint, and the Journalists Association will look in the issue and make sure that the right thing is done. Why do you use the security people? And if my brother Ifa will be sitting here today and be defending this issue, I'll be very disappointed in him. Well, let's speak against it. As much as some of the statements that people made were too harsh, I don't think this is the way you should handle it.
Right.
I don't think you should be using the security forces to go after people who are speaking their freedom of speech. That comes. So what is the sense in fighting for over 15 years to repeal the criminal library law? What is the sense in it? the very person who make or claim that he's the one who drafted the criminal libel law is not even going back. So Nana Addo is a person, when he says look forward, you have to look back. Because all the things he said in opposition that he was not going to do, when he got to government, he's doing the opposite way.
Right.
And today, I want to compliment. It is true. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is incompetent. It is true he's incompetent. He's incompetent when it comes to corruption. It is incompetent. And it is true. It is incompetent when it comes to suppression of freedom of speech. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is incompetent. And I agree. And he's incompetent when it comes into using military people to kill people who voted for you. He's incompetent. Nana Addo is competent in corruption, competent in suppressing freedom of speech, competent in chasing and killing the people who voted for you, competent in making people not talk, competent in covering up corruption cases against his appointee, competent in involving himself in the Ameri 800 million deal. So he's competent. But John is incompetent in all these things. So today, moving forward, I have said that anywhere, what if tells me that Mahama is incompetent, I totally agree with him. Mahama is incompetent. He's incompetent in corruption. He's incompetent in stealing. He's incompetent in autocratic rule. He's incompetent in suppressing democracy. He's incompetent in all the battles that.
All right.
Thank you.
The power of income. So that's the zinger right there. That's what we call it, right? I think this one is a prepared speech. Incompetence of John Mahama has been revealed.
And John is incompetent when it comes to hiring private jet. John Mahama is incompetent.
All right. Okay.
It's Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo who hires private jet. So for today, I'll be happy. Use the incompetent for John Mahama. I'm very happy because he's incompetent in all these things. And your president is incompetent when it comes to all the bad things. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So, Paul has said a lot. He's ended on, literally of things that he listed as things that he believed the Akufo-Addo government is has competency over, the former president. Now, let me preface this with, or let me ask, what do you think are the things that will actually cause somebody to actually embark on a coup d'etat? And for all the coups that we've recently seen, we've seen that the citizens actually are happy or on the streets jubilate, or the coup makers with open arms. Do you think such a thing is likely to happen in Ghana? And are we seeing some of the root causes or some of the things that are likely to get us to a point where some deranged person or some individual in the military will get up and want to conduct coup again in our country, considering our history where we know that we've had about 7 of those?
Yeah, thank you very much. And if you look at coup d'etat, especially the region which brought all these military people into our democracy, I don't see them currently happening. I don't. And there's no need for anybody. But you see, I don't agree that somebody is not planning or somebody may not succeed if they tell. I agree with the first thing that he said, that you have to take care of the military apparatus, but you don't necessarily need the media. See, we can talk more about. I do some of these.
You are saying for a coup to be successful, that the military is all you definitely need. Once you get the military on your side, you should be good. You don't really need the media. Is that what you're saying? Because in the media, one news channel picks up that, oh, hey, the Flagstaff House or the Jubilee House has been invaded, and it goes.
Anybody? I don't. Okay, let me say this. The media aspects of military coup, the security people, anybody who is going to take care knows it. Okay, so that person will activate and put all those measures. And you see, some of these radio stations are mostly a connection. One is a connection to the others, So all you need is to get the support of the military and the police, the security apparatus, and that's it. But I don't see it coming. I mean, under the current distance. So that is that. Now, you see what I want us to discuss, right, is, you see, if you admit that what they are doing, they should have known better, it is bad. Some of these things are despicable. It is the same reason that Ofosu Kwakye gave when, Mahama, I don't want to use Mahama, when the security agencies were cracking down on some of these. You see, when you become president, right? When you become president, security, everything is matter of national security. Everything about you. And there was an incident where an MPP man was picked up because he picked the party. He did something. I don't want to talk about exactly what happened. And when the case came and we're discussing it, yeah, you are not supposed to do this. You are not supposed to do this. They will pick you up. But we'll come to the media space and try to muddy the water. If under Rollins it happened.
Which MPP man are you referring to?
Huh?
Which MPP man, just for context, because we already.
It was Omane our first vice. He did something, and he was detained. He was detained at the. Huh?
Just a quick one, my brother. If I didn't hear, did you say you agree that democracy is being reframed? I heard something. I didn't hear it 2 hours on the phone. I'm sorry about that. When you started talking.
Let's just move that down so that we can, because he's
I thought I would agree with you on what you said about takeovers, right?
Okay.
But for me, you don't need the media if you want to take over the distance. But once you get over the military, you're gone. Okay. But I mean, that is opinion sharing and stuff like that.
My question to you: do you believe a coup can happen in Ghana? That's my question.
No, it can't. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
I don't think when Kwame Nkrumah actually,
But the fact that the fact that it cannot happen doesn't mean our leaders should be messing up.
No,
that is also important. They have to consistently improve upon it. Now, you see,
in the United States, and we saw what happened on January 6th of 2021, right? So it is not, even a country like the United States has had, a single person allegedly incites so many people to the extent where, the House of Parliament.
What happened?
Exactly. That's civil revolt.
That's civil revolt.
In a country.
But we just saw a demonstration of e-levy. Now, you know that Vomawar has an organization called Feeds the Nation that he perhaps controls. And whatever he says, maybe people take it religiously. So you don't know what will happen. So let's not feed ourselves that.
If I can make one quick contribution.
Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, Mr. Muzo, me and if all of us here, we know as coup can never happen. But civil revolt, yes, it can happen. The guy can cause a civil revolt, which will cause a lot of things will happen, which will escalate to, people might lose their life and all those. For that one, I know it can happen.
And some junior officer in the armory while the civil revolution or whatever is going on, just to put hands and they start shooting, and then what happens? If you look at China these days, right, and you see the number of kids even on the street brandishing gun all over. So it is. Let's be careful when we say coups cannot happen.
No. You see, listen.
Alfred. Sorry, I have to interject.
Yeah, go ahead.
You see, I grew up in the area, around 37 all the way to Dansoman. That is the area I grew up. Okay. I've said, like I said earlier on, I also strongly agree with my brother Paul. I think I even made this statement when Paul was not even on air, that for the days of coup in Ghana, it's gone.
Yes.
It's gone.
It's gone. I agree. It's gone.
You get it? But even if they will, like for instance, I don't see Vomawar as a threat. Okay? If there will be, it will come from the military. the dishonesty from Nanado government to towards the security apparatus, that is where the whole thing will come from. Where prior to election, the 20 million was deposited into the account. As soon as the election was over, they started deducting. Those are the breeding. Those are the things that will be the breeding ground. You get it? But like an individual staging a coup in Ghana, it won't happen. It won't be successful.
Why? Is that because the military or the law enforcement is now well resourced?
Yeah.
Yes. There you go. Yes.
Resource, discipline, and you can't just use them anyhow because they've learned a lot of lessons from the 78 coup, which was led by the former president. They've learned a lot of lessons and the things that people went through. How do you call it? This guy who went to the commission.
You have General Nunu. You have General Nunu.
Yeah, those people.
But hear me out. You have General Nunu trying to get the audience with the president because of intelligence that he picked. You have people within the intelligence community who are worried.
Alfred,
we are likely to see.
Alfred,
yes.
Let me tell you something that can cost the instability of the country. If Ghana will go through instability of the country, it will be through electoral violence.
Okay, you've made your point on that, but I'm saying that, right, there are generals, retired, who are seeking audience with the president because of what they perceive to be intelligence pointing to the likelihood of coup d'etats. So it is, I don't know why you will sit here, I don't know what intelligence you have for you to make such a bold claim that the era of coups are over in Ghana. Look, how many of those things, I disagree. Let me bring
just a quick break. You see, those generals are referring to the current hardship.
You don't know what they're referring to, so please just
those are. I
would rather have the generals actually tell us, because if the general is trying to seek audience,
but Alfred,
yeah.
Reverend General Nunu Mensah, if he cannot pass the intelligence to the military hierarchy, then
that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, listen to it. If the military hierarchy is being suspected of plotting something, because what happens? The coup against Kwame Nkrumah was done by a general. If the military hierarchy is complicit in the intelligence he's picking up, what is the wisdom in going to that military hierarchy?
Okay, in the same vein, if the military
wants to join,
if the military is the one doing it, they won't allow you access to the president. They won't allow you. So he should know that he's not going to get the access, because you see the security of the president is topmost national security.
Okay, so
that is
Alfred, let me tell you something. Just give me 30 seconds. You see,
I haven't made my submission.
Let me chip in. You have your floor. General Nunu Mensah have worked with all government.
Lifetime legacy. I think you're disrupting the show with the unnecessary interruptions. Wait till I give you your time so you can come in, okay? So Paul, if you can finish your point and then we'll move on.
I haven't made my point. You say you keep on referring to Paul.
If I were a minute, I'm making my point. I am saying,
guys, let's have a far finish, and then you have your opportunity. Please.
Exactly. So you see this impression that we are creating, that each government, the president sits down and sort of sift through what is on the radio, who is insulting him, and pick up calls. And we have to stop these kind of stuff. We have to stop talking and mentioning the president. Other than that, we are not going to fix the problem. Okay, journalists and people being dealt with this way, it happened under all the governments, by all these military people or security agencies, BNI, whatever. So why do we keep on mentioning the president? We should know how these protocols work. Okay. Now, when it comes to Vomewo, right?
Are you saying that if the military or the security services are misbehaving themselves to where it is likely to cause the administration to be cast in dark light, that the president will just sit down and say, "Oh, it's because the
Oh, no. You are talking about Nunu's. You are talking about. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the general. Can I go on?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not talking specifically to General Nunu, but I'm talking about Bobia is picked up. This person is picked up, and we are saying that it is autocratic Akufo-Addo. It is this Akufo-Addo who is doing this. It is Mahama who instructed. It is Rollins. It is Kufuor. It is Mills who instructed them. I say it doesn't work like that. If it works like that, then that is bad. Because there are agencies, right?
Perhaps it does work like that, because the president wouldn't just sit down for the military to continue to misbehave under him. That's what we are saying. Because
you are saying that these 4 people that have been picked up, the military, the security agencies are misbehaving.
It's one. The president is one phone call away from telling the security services to release those people, and they be released. And warn them that, listen, investigate all you mean, but do not do the excesses.
It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. No. Security matters don't like that. The situation about release was, I think Atamils and Kufuor, where somebody insulted the president, right? The security, and then he said no, release. But when it comes to issues about somebody want to plot a coup and all these kind of stuff, it doesn't work like release them like that. No.
Is Bobby Ansah trying to plot a coup?
Oh, that is a different matter. That's a different matter.
All these people are being picked up just for speaking up, and we are saying that, they
are lying. You okay? Somebody, okay? You made a statement about somebody. You've been picked up to go and prove it. Go and prove it. Why should somebody stop you from going through the process? If you know you're right, you have the evidence. Go. Right. We are here talking about Asapa. Mr. Amuzu, we are here talking about Asapa made a statement and then he realized he's wrong. Now, Paul wants to say that Nanado had made statement and should have. How many statements had Mahama made that he's still keeping on to it? Huh?
Okay, so wrap up with your point. And then
so what I'm saying is that we have agencies that are working, okay? We sat here and discuss that our security situation is this and this is happening in the country, that is happening in the country. If you have somebody like Womawo, who I believe cannot make a coup but can cause civil arrest, we should wait for him to cause civil arrest, for people to die, and then we come and say people were revolting, the people couldn't be protected, this person is there, that person is there. No, that's not going to happen. So you prevent it from happening. You prevent it from happening. Security agencies ought to work. We can say they should temper this thing with mercy. I believe that if we were more, because of the word if that he used, if he goes to court, he's going to be set aside. The if that is used. But I'm also not an expert in security and legal stuff to conclude that every if means you cannot do it. Okay? Right. But let the security agencies do it.
Okay, fine. Your backup is here, so let's now give you all the time,
We cannot sit here and say they should be up and doing, and when they are working, then we say, oh no. If we admit that what they did is wrong, then something ought to be done. And we need to be careful when we get the chance to speak, when we have the platform, when we have all these people under our care, we have to act with responsibility, because one word and somebody is dead. Because it's not you don't care. No, we got to come. Leadership come with responsibilities. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Your backup has just arrived. Let me take the opportunity to welcome the 2 gentlemen who've just joined us, Dr. Atoko Medadanso and Emmanuel Nanaya Wasariamponsa, for joining the show. Now, Lifetime Legacy, finish your thoughts, and then I'll go to our late arrivals.
Alfred, like I was saying, Brigadier General Nunu Mensah have worked with all governments, starting from Rollins. Okay. So he's a type that any government that comes to power, he wants to have audience with the government. So for me, I will not use his words as the Bible that he have any intelligence and that is why he wants to meet the president.
And I don't think you have any basis for that. You don't know what he knows. So
I know what I'm
like you said, this is a general who spent how many years in the security and forces in the security space.
He is the only person
I would not sit on the radio and
who have been on the CDS
work over his.
Yeah,
if he says he wants to have audience with the president because of certain things that he's observing, and he wants to share his experience with the president. I think that is concerning. This is somebody who has served at the highest levels of national security. I don't know what your national security credentials are, so why would I take your words over what the general is saying?
Okay, so let me ask this question. Now that he didn't got the audience with the president to say whatever he wants to tell the president, are those threats still exist?
Again, I'm not general, so I don't know.
Get it. So I don't know
what a general is going to.
So I am telling you that.
So there's so many unknowns, and it's hard for me to be answering that kind of question for you.
So anyway, I am saying that.
Finish your point.
You see, in the field of politics, we have political scavengers. Okay, we have political scavengers where any opportunity or any government.
Are you calling General Nunu Mensah a political scavenger?
I am not saying so, but if you
that's what it sounds like you're saying.
If you want to put it as such, so be it. But what I'm saying is that as long as if he is a true Ghanaian and he have the security of Ghana at heart, he need not to have access to the president to put that.
I don't think you get it though. There has to be a path to the top. I mean, in every organization or any reputable institution, there should be a way for anybody who wants to seek audience with the top should be given the opportunity. He's a Ghanaian.
No. It's not. No.
Alfred,
so in a likely scenario that a higher ranked, officer is plotting something which a retired general pick intelligence on.
What? Okay, Alfred, hold on. What if that retired person is the one plotting?
So you think he's going to go see the president by himself? Is that what you are saying? He's not going to see the president by himself. Is he going to see the president when he's in the room?
In security matters, they have secrets. Don't open up. Security, you don't open up. That's why we have security intent. Something things are not supposed to come out.
What are we afraid of? The Nanado is just being seen taking pictures with our.
Do you know what the FBI does to protect Americans? Do you know what the FBI does?
It's our money more.
Do you know what the FBI and the CIA do to protect Americans? Do you know?
All right. Okay. I'll stop there.
As for security matters, please. It is not a matter for public debate.
Let me conclude my statement.
Yeah, in some
sense. Like I was saying, if the security of the nation is at threat, the retired general need not to see the president to make those informations available. That is one. We must get this very, very clear. Secondly, I still stand by what I said earlier on that Ghana, for where it is now, nobody will pick a gun and be successful. When you talk of civil,
I think you said that so many times. So
yes,
let's move on from that.
Let's get it very, very clear. What for me, it should be worried, and all of us should be concerned of, is the intolerant behavior of the president, where every person who speaks, he ordered the person's arrest. Under Mahama, we had Manasseh Awuni making all sorts of allegations about Mahama, okay? But not even a hair on his head was touched. You get it? The president should be able to be tolerant enough to accommodate some of these things.
Absolutely.
You get it? He came into power. He came into power by allegations and counter allegations of the likes of Manasseh Azuri and the likes of what do you call it?
Right.
Captain Smart and co. So if those guys also are raising up concerns like they did yesterday, he should be tolerant enough to accommodate some of those things.
Okay, thank you. Paul, if you still have something to say, can you come in and say it? Otherwise, Paul, can you hear me? All right. So while we wait on Paul to join, Daniel, welcome to the show. We've been talking at length so far. We try to just, border these two topics together, what the root causes of coup d'etats are, what is making these other African countries kind of return to the authoritarian regimes. And their citizens are welcoming those things. And then we also are picking all this news from Ghana that Vomawo was picked up because he made some comments about coup d'etat that if E-Levy was passed, that he himself will lead the coup. This is somebody who, in the past, used the same language to describe, the fact that the security forces were trying to prevent him from his demonstration. So when you make a statement and use coup one time, maybe that one time it's just random, right? But when you do that again, all of a sudden it's a trend. You're creating two data points that can be connected. And therefore, it is fair when you're invited to say, what exactly is the issue with you? Do you also agree that coups cannot happen in Ghana because somehow our security forces have become experts in detecting and sniffing out people who post things like that and doing all the necessary investigations? So we should be rest assured.
Yeah, thank you, my panelists. Greetings to everybody. Sorry for coming in late as usual because of some other equal important commitments. I don't think there's no word like never, never. Never shouldn't be something that we rule out that never something will never happen or it could never happen. No, it can happen. I mean, so as for me, but I would say it's remote, right? It can happen, but it's very remote. So 5% or maybe 10%. But 10% in probability, if you say 10%, it doesn't mean it can't happen. It can always happen, right? It's just that the chances that it's going to happen, it's on the lower side.
It's remote, yeah.
But it's possible that that 10% can play out, right?
Yeah.
And so on that score, I would say yes, it's possible it can happen. But you see, the thing with Ghana is that Ghana is so unique, right? When it comes to all these other countries, we unique in the sense that when the West look to the African region or specifically the West African region, it is Ghana that they see. So if Ghana fails, it sends some big signal across, democratic circles that are, because they are trying to use Ghana as that example to demonstrate that, hey, the Western system works. And only that is how Ghana has been perceived, right? So when they talk about democracy and they're talking about economic development, they are trying to use Ghana as that model to always justify that we did this thing with Ghana, it worked. So in that sense, Ghana come out as a very unique country in the experiment of what the West want to portray to the rest of the African continent. And so if it could happen in Ghana, I can tell you that the speed with which the West will react, it's not like what you are seeing now with what has happened in Burkina Faso and Guinea. I think they've been very slow. I don't know whether they are talking about it behind, closed doors, but publicly I haven't seen a lot of, the West coming out strongly to condemn these things. I don't know what is going on. Maybe they know some things that we don't know, or maybe they are part of the orchestration that is going on in these countries because of the leaders that are involved. You get what I'm trying to say? And also the coups are happening in the Francophone countries. So I have not followed too much of the politics in the Francophone country, but I think I watched Metro TV and there was this guy that from a political science perspective, I think he does very well trying to analyze based on the information that he knows. And I tend to put some weight on what he says, not everything, but I think if I listen to him and the analysis that he makes, it makes me kind of believe him that, yes, he's done his research and he knows much more about Francophone politics. So with Francophone politics, it appears there's some revolt going on with the French people against their colonial master, which is the French people. They want to be able to maybe say devolve themselves from that, colonial, strings that puts them in the control of French or France in that sense. So there's something going on in these Francophone countries that is unique to them. And it's because of, by default of history, the way post-independence, they have still had, direct ties with France and that kind of stuff. And I think the people are saying that, no, we don't want to do this anymore. We want to go our own way. We want to be independent. And so that is how come maybe the coup is getting some popularity, because it appears the people that are embarking on this coup are singing that tune of saying, hey, military, all France military people leave. And they are using that as, I would say, the coy, right, to get the support of the people. But you see, there's always one thing that I have known, and it's always going to play out. Every coup, when it happens initially, that popular support, because people are fed up with a little bit of some frustration, you get that initial popular support. People are going to be out there giving you support. But over time, they'll come to realize that the people that they are supporting will be doing worse things, and they will not even be achieving the aim for which they brought them. And you begin to see the sentiment change within the population. So now it appears they are riding on that goodwill initially for every coup. But the very thing that these coup people are talking about and complaining, for which reason they are saying today they are in power. One of them, if you're able to delink themselves from the Francophone connection, is going to go away. Once that goes away, the real issues of governance.
The grants also go away with that.
that is not going to go away, right? That is going to come. And now you have to deal with proving why you came in the first place, beyond just saying that, oh, now we've delinked ourselves from the French people. And that is what the real challenge is. If you're unable to do, I don't think any of these folks will be able to do what Rawlings did. You see, when they do this coup, they give reverence to Rawlings, right? But what they forget is that the time and seasons are not the same. The era in which we live now is completely different from the era in which the Rawlingses lived. And how
they'll use new tools to.
Well, so that is the way the experiment is. Maybe they in the times in which we live, they will have new tools, like you are saying. So that is something we'll live to see. I don't know what the outcome will be, whether they will be successful or not. But I can assure you that over time, once the West finish with this, their COVID and other stuff, they'll get hard on them. They'll start putting on those strings that will force them in a certain way. But for now, I haven't seen too much of that. So I think there's something peculiar with the Francophone countries. But Ghana, when it comes to the Nigeria, Ghana, which are the other Anglophone countries, I don't even remember all of them. I don't think, that thing will easily work. Like in Nigeria, you tell me there will be a coup. The reaction of the West will be very, very swift because of the geopolitical influence that Ghana and Nigeria wield within the region. You get what I'm trying to say? So, in that sense, yes, a coup can happen in Ghana, but I'm like, you will not be successful moving the country for if it happen. You will be crippled by the West. Remember, Ghana's economy too is open. It's an open economy. We are so much open that we are tied to the West in so many ways, right? So if they begin to pull their strengths on you, what are you going to do? You're going to be screwed up. You can't rule the country forever.
And in the Francophone country, the thing too is that because they have this common currency, you can do a coup, but you wouldn't necessarily be hit with inflation because your monetary policy is not in your hand per se.
Exactly. Yes.
Anyway.
So I think that yes, Ghana, anybody who attempts it, the cost will be too much more than the benefit. So at the end of the day, you won't profit from it. Then that is the big thing. You can do it, but will it be wise to put yourself in that situation and then be at the mercy of
the outcome, what happens after the coup is successful is a different topic, right? But the issue is it possible,
possibility, I would say it's possible.
Yeah, and have we seen
chances,
right. Have we seen the root causes, like the economic distress, the things that make people think, the things that make people get frustrated enough to want to grab a gun and do something? Are we seeing the repression of freedom in the media space and things that,
regardless, like you are saying, those indicators, even if those indicators are not there or are not right, when somebody does a coup, they'll find a reason for why the coup came. There will always be a reason. So don't be expecting some, I would say, confluence of indicators to say that once these indicators are built, somebody can.
But these are indicators that occur prior to, like on the broader level, you could see the more economic hardship that is in the sub-Sahara, that is manifesting in the sub-Saharan Africa countries, the more coups we are seeing. So it is like predictive indicators that I'm actually pointing to. And some of those are currently apparent in our country.
I get that point. But you see, context again here matters for all of us, right? In a COVID period, and if you're coming out of COVID and you come and tell me that.
Yeah.
So you see, that's what I'm saying. The environment and the justification that you give, that will just be to the immediate justification, but there might be a more remote thing you will not tell us why you did the coup. You get what I'm trying to say? You try and find something to support or to give rationale for why you did that coup. But when we analyze that, will it make sense in the global context? Maybe no. There might be a remote reason you probably not tell us until maybe when
every coup, anybody who do a coup, has some selfish.
Yeah. Now let me come to the what is the name? Is it
if we can do that in some 1 minute, because I want to talk about the levy cake and the president's travel?
I have supported, what do you call it, fix the country people on one thing, on the very fundamental thing that, because I've had some engagement with them, even on some others and platforms, and I've told them that, you know what, me, the way I look at Ghana, you can talk about everything. If we don't change that constitution and you keep this structure, the engineering will tell you, in economics we call something structural conduct performance. The structure that you build will engender a certain kind of conduct, and that will engender a certain kind of performance. That's why in economics, when you learn things like competitive markets, right? Monopoly, you don't do, because those structures engender a certain kind of conduct that engenders a certain kind of market performance. So if you build a political system, the system that you build by default will have a certain conduct that comes with it and will produce a certain performance. This is how structural systems work, right? So the system that we have built is producing some conduct.
What aspect of the constitution do you think is No.
It's not even about like him, but like I supported them on the one call that we have to change this constitution. Because I think fundamentally that is a structure that we built. Our structure is built on this constitution. So I've always been following the activity. And I think that they started very well. They were speaking to issues, they were speaking to things that I think are fundamental, that even cuts across both political parties. It's not even specific to like MPP per se or NDC, which I thought for me that was the beginning. To fix Ghana, we need to start from that fundamental place. But with time, I've seen a lot of shift in, maybe because their front have broken up and they've been this, confusion among some people living and not living. But for that guy's a very smart guy. That what do you call it? He's a very smart guy. He knows, and he's a lawyer, I'm told. I think he's in the Cambridge.
Very credible lawyer.
Right. So he knows. So I'm surprised that a lawyer will speak the cool language. That surprised me a lot. That for me, it's my only disappointment in terms of, am I on air? Amuju, I think I'm having some issues. I don't know.
You are.
Okay. So Amuju, that is my only disappointment about his utterance. But I don't think that he really means that he has the power or capacity to do anything. From what I've watched him and his character and his pronouncement, he doesn't look to me like somebody who will want to do a coup. Because he's a very civilized and very polished guy. You get what I'm trying to say? So I want to believe it's probably just one of those random things where you get annoyed and you are so pissed about something that has happened and you are not very comfortable, and out of anger you say something. That is how I am looking at him. But it is me here saying that I don't know what intelligence the security has and how they've profiled this guy. I don't know. So on that sense, I'll be very cautious to see what they come up with when it's charging or when they take him before court. Because when we are in court, then we will see the full details of what the security has in mind and how they are going to charge him and what that means, for our democracy. But I mean, like I said, looking at that guy from a very, historically and what he's done, it doesn't look like to me it's somebody who is a rowdy guy who will obey laws, and no, it doesn't come to me across like that.
Yeah, I think, because of his stature too, he could have been invited. I don't think he's a flight risk and all that.
No, I don't think so. So I don't know what the security knows, but we will see how it goes. But you see, we have to be very careful too, because
did Rollins look like somebody who could cause a coup those days?
Of course, the mutiny gave him out, right? If the mutiny failed, that was an indication, right? Rollins, before the coup itself, he was a mutiny, and before the mutiny, he did one and came back. So that history tells you that
you guys actually love to talk about Rollins, huh? Maybe we should table him one of these days and talk about him.
But, so
if you can wrap up for me, please.
To wrap up, what I would say is that, you see, that's why context and timing is good. If Voma had said maybe this coup thing in the era in which we didn't have these coup things happening in the region, probably nobody would take seriousness about what he said. But if you say it in a context where we already have coups happening, then that is a different
signal. It becomes an expensive joke.
Okay. Exactly. So let's be very careful and be mindful when we, and know the times and season that we are in when we are using something. That is why you can use some words today, nobody will care about it. But if you use another time, somebody will come after you, So that's what I'll end by saying. But I don't think that guy is a threat to anything. I don't think
Absolutely. Thank you. He's not a threat, and I think that is the consensus here. Dr. Atto, good to see you again. I saw you on Sunday show last week. So it appears somebody's stealing you away from us, but we are happy to have you.
Not really. Apologies for being late today, and my regards to everybody over there.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Okay, Dr. Atoso, quickly, I'd like to give you the opportunity to also share your thoughts on these issues of coups and, the fact that, we constantly are beginning to see a ramp up in how much the media personalities are being whisked away from their studios or being, picked up unnecessarily and locked for comments that they may have made in one way or the other. What are your thoughts on the fact that usually precedes coup d'etats, mostly, where you see some suppression within the media, where you see the economic, hardships being, manifested in one way or the other, and you see utterances like the one we heard from Vomawo, etc., etc. Is it right? Is our country gradually tickering towards the Burkina Fasos and the Malis, from your perspective?
I don't really think so. I think, first of all, because of the advent of social media has really made communication really easy for all of us. So, like right now, I can just, in the comfort of my home, sit and then have a Facebook Live and talk about whatever I want to talk about, even government. So, in that terms, that's why we have seen increase in some of these issues. I followed the Guinea situation because I thought it was funny the way they arrested the president with him sitting with his hands on his cheeks. But I realized that in this case, he actually he changed the constitution. He wanted to a third time. And I agree with my friend Daniel and Lifetime that we're in a different world. The Francophone countries live in a totally different world. And in a way, they feel like they're being controlled by the French forces. Because I know I've read in the Ivory Coast case that the French forces actually were the one who overthrew, what's his name? Gbagbo. Because some people tend to believe that Gbagbo won the elections and he was supposed to succeed. So we're in a different situation. I have watched Vamo a lot of times. Really brilliant guy. He's a professor at Cambridge.
Right.
But it was so surprising that I'm thinking that probably he has political ambitions, and he had to do something to get attention,
to become a household name.
Yes, and that there's no reason why a learned person would even type that, knowing very well that he was going to Ghana, knowing very well the next day he
was setting up his own arrest.
Yes. And in the medical field, we call something duty to warn. Like, say if someone comes to me and tells me you're going to kill somebody, you have to really assess the situation to see if the threat is really real. I don't think that his threat is really real. But like, I agree with Ifa that this guy was part of the guys who organized the
country.
So one, he has numbers. So although we cannot underestimate what he can do, but we don't know at least what his security forces have. But then it's like almost every 4 years we have some of these arrests. It won't go anywhere. It's like they arrested Kennedy Japan. It didn't go anywhere. So I'm thinking right now this will not go anywhere. It's just for sure. It's just that the BN9 and all those people know that they're doing some work. I'm telling you, it's like I know very well. I think they arrested Kuku and Anidoho too, right? It didn't go anywhere. So it's like we don't learn from some of these things. Although I don't fault the security forces, but I feel like some of these things, like almost every 4 years, we come back to these issues. They arrest people, they arraign them before it doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
Like I said, I am not here, or I would not sit on radio or on my social media type sentences like that. Maybe I don't know his motive. I'm thinking that he probably wants some attention for himself. Otherwise, knowing very well I'm going to Ghana tomorrow, I'll not type that there may be a coup. No, who does that? Like I said, he's a lawyer too. So why would anybody, knowing very well that if I do this, these are the consequences, do that?
Right.
It does not make any sense. And I agree that people talk about hardships in Ghana. I mean, I see this to be, there's a precedent. We've had hardships we have Kumipreko and all these things. Some of these coups did not happen.
Right.
And I know the pandemic has created a lot of anxiety amongst people. It's created, like even here in America, we've had economic issues, and I see a Lifetime and Paul laughing about that. These are facts. So you cannot just say, oh, we are in hardship right now, so it warrants a coup, or it may cause other people to
predicate. It's
requisite for a coup. That would not happen. So I'm actually very disappointed in the guy. I really revered him. I listened to his analysis, and he was really doing a good guy, a good job. So I don't know why anybody would know. Like I'm saying, knowing very well what I'm going home tomorrow, try to type certain things like this. It would not. It's unconscionable for anybody to
So we got the formula now. Lifetime legacy. When you're going to Ghana, you know what to type, right? Because that makes you famous, and of course, we all have the placards or would have the tags out there. Free Lifetime legacy.
Yes, it would not make any sense for anybody, and especially like we have other people over here. We have families. We have. I mean, we're living our lives normally over here, and we all want the country to do well. So I would not recommend anybody. I think it's very reckless, and it's. I don't see him to be a politician. I see him to be an activist. So it's very unfortunate that he came up with those statements.
I think most politicians start with the activism or some type of advocacy, and that's how.
That is true. But yeah. like over here, you hear Lifetime talk about his politics. He's not an advocate. You hear about Paul talking about espousing NDC views. So they call themselves social democrats, but they still not come up with any social interventions in the country. Although they come over here and make it seem like they try to help people.
I think the parties should switch ideologies.
They should.
Even though the claims of who is a social democrat has completely, because then you see the
and I'm surprised.
Is it one thing?
I see my brother.
Depending on.
Let Ato finish, plus.
Well, and it's surprising that these days NDC are talking about coup. Is it because it's in their history? I don't know why they keep...
This is not NDC talking about coup, right?
No, I see that. I see NDC talking about coup, and they can't. NDC try to compare the Francophone countries to Ghana. This is coming up very often. You listen to the NDC, they say, "Oh, we're in hardships." You see the coup in this place. I'm like, is it because it's in their history? That's why they're talking about coup. I just want Lifetime or Paul to answer this.
Well, reputable magazines and news outlets, like, for instance, I am an avid consumer of the Economic Intelligence Unit's publications, and they've also made these predictions, like, because of the hardships brought by the pandemic, we're going to see a lot of unrest in the sub-Sahara because of the youth population, the unemployment issues, and, of course, arrogance in government,
I mean, that is very true. I have observed the communicators from NDC actually trying to compare or contrast Ghana with Francophone countries. Right. Trying to create an impression that Ghana, it's in so deep a hole that if we are not careful, someone will come up with a coup.
Okay.
I can admit that the hardship is everywhere. And even Ghana, we have difficulties in Ghana because, like you said, unemployment is really high and all this. But I'm saying that if you had that in your history, I would, like I said, I would not be comfortable talking about that if I know very well that in my history I have a coup d'etat 2 or 3 times.
Right.
One failed.
Okay.
Alfred.
Thank you so much. Let me do this. I'm going to do one more round of at least 3 minutes each, and I want us to talk about arrogance in governments. In other words, there's a little bit of sort of, I don't know if I should call it insensitivity or what people are actually calling.
Alfred.
And I want to go to you, by the way. I want to start with you. So in I think last week or so, we've seen I don't recall the name. Is this Sir Mensah Bonsu, or the majority leader in parliament?
Che Mensah
Bonsu celebrating his birthday, and here goes a humongous e-levy cake being cut. As funny as it is, I just think that it doesn't place with the times, because people really are suffering, right? And people are really protesting this e-levy thing. So whether and then it came out that from, again, the majority side that, this was actually sent to them by the NDC, which apparently turned out to be false. What is going on with these people? Is it just that we can really do these things and get away with it? Or is this when you come into power after some time, you feel untouchable and you don't care no more? Because this is not limited to them. I've seen even people in the previous administration at certain point got so arrogant and they think they are touchable. Is this what power does to people? And do you think that this government is just insensitive, considering that the president just traveled again on a privately hired flight, which he's been doing, and people has been complaining, but he doesn't seem to care about that. And even on that trip, not only is he going for official duty, but he's taking a day for himself. And and each time that he does that, we continue to pay several millions of dollars just for those travels. Unlike here in the United States, where if our president travels and he has to do some personal business on his own, that use of the Air Force One is actually billable to him and not billable to the state. Do you think we are seeing the height of some sort of insensitivity marinated in arrogance? Paul?
Yes, before I address those issues, I think my good friend, made forceful allegation this afternoon over here. And I'm referring to Dr. Ato.
Okay.
He stated over here this afternoon that the NDC people are talking about coup. I dare him to mention how many NDC people have spoken about coup. He should mention it for us to see. If not, so he has to retract, because this is a very damning allegation he's trying to put on us. I want him to mention how many NDC people have spoken about coup for this week. He should mention them. Let me see. I'm giving him 1 minute of my time.
So unless you know all the NDC people that I know, unless you know them, unless you
so mention it. So you see, this is a wide allegation.
No,
right
unless you see.
No. You see.
So
that is a very broad.
You don't come and sit on this platform and say that NDC people are noted of coup and they've been saying coup. You don't do that.
No. So unless you know my circle, you cannot say that I should just mention.
Okay, so you don't know what you are talking about. If you're not ready to mention names, then you don't come and say it here.
No, I'm saying.
Anyway, Paul, we say all kinds of things. That
So
I am saying that this is one of the fake information he has been given to him from the Flaster House, from the Jubilee House. This is one of the fake information he has gotten from the Jubilee House, and he's trying to put over here.
So he's also attending the briefing, right?
He attends the briefing in the Jubilee House.
So we need to take the
He is part of the people who goes for the fake briefing from the Jubilee House, and Dr. Atu is part of it. So I'll let it go, because I've put him on a street proof. He couldn't prove which NDC people officially that we know have gone out to talk about coup. So far as I am concerned, most of the NDC people, including me on this show this evening, we have condemned coup, and we said that it is not possible for a coup to happen in Ghana. So let's put that record straight. Now let's come to this arrogance of this competent president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo when it comes to arrogancy. He's a very competent person when it comes to arrogancy. He's a very competent person when it comes to corruption. He's a very competent person when it comes to using the taxpayers' money to rent a private jet for $15,000 an hour, and which, as we sit here, he is riding in a private jet, taking shower in the sky. And Dr. Atu and Ifa and Nanaya will be here defending him. Look, Ghana is going through a lot of economic difficulties. As much as we all know, these people are trying to pass e-levy that is going to bring about 6.7 billion cedis into the coffers or into the economy of Ghana. Now, if you know you are looking for this amount of money and you want to cut down on cost, what do you do as a president? Are you not supposed to cut down on expenses?
The charity begins from your home.
Exactly, from your home. That's all we've been talking about. Now, I am saying over here that the president has lost the moral right to ask Ghanaians to pay that e-levy, because once again, he flew from Ghana just 2 days ago to Guyana, Germany, UK, France. He's just going for a 10-day tour, and he has rented a private jet which he's using. Where comes the sensitivity? Number two, you are talking about Che Mensa Bonsu's birthday party, 65th birthday party, whereby an e-levy cake was prepared for him, and they were trying to throw dust into the eye, which I took my brother Ifa on this platform, and he couldn't defend it. We are saying that, look, you cannot play on the sensitivity of Ghanaians. You are trying to pass an e-levy. You know, majority of the people, and survey upon survey upon survey from Dr. Atu and a first own platform, Joy FM, City FM, Peace FM, different media platform has conducted a survey, and majority of Ghanaians are against this e-levy. Just yesterday, which was Friday, they did interview across the stronghold of the NPP in Ashanti region. And a lot of the people there are saying that they will be willing to join to protest against e-levy.
I saw some lady a video that says she will pay.
Fine. I mean, you can't say everybody is against it. There are some people who support it, of course, and she's the part of the minority who are supporting this e-levy. I am saying for the minority leader to go and have a cake with e-levy, I mean, you are insulting the intelligence of the common Ghanaian.
Right.
And when the most annoying part of it is that they stated that it was the NDC minority who presented this cake, and it came out that it was not true. The minority leader himself has come out to debunk it and said that the cake was presented to him by a businessman who is in the media domain. I am saying that this MPP government are insensitive. They are competent when it comes to, playing upon the emotions of Ghanaians for putting that e-levy cake. It's not even right. Morally, it's not right for him to do that.
Right.
You understand me? Right. What are they trying to tell us? Are they trying to insult our integrity or our intelligence? I don't know. Maybe Dr. Atu has the questions. I am saying that it's unacceptable. The president, if he wants to get that 6.7 billion that he's looking for, that's why he's bringing the e-levy. And the reason why he's putting a lot of pressure on his ministers and his appointees, and they are going around left, right, center. We want to know this town hall meeting that they are organized, how much is involved? Right. Those money that they are spending, why can't they rather channel those money into the economy? I've stated on this show, different shows. I think the last 2 times I was on the show, I stated and I gave economic footing or economic argument on how they can do or they can save. I am saying once again that for them to save and get that 6.7 billion they are looking for, that V8, which that's Luxus V8, that they have put in a whole seat in it for the president, wherever he goes, that the seat follows him. That should cut. They should stop doing that.
Right, but we say with the security of the president, his health, everything is very important. The president is an old man. He should at least get.
Mr. Muzu. Anyway, Mr. Muzu. A check of the presidency, what does it have to do with the security of the president? A check is what does it got to do with the security of the president?
In other words, the president needs a little bit
Mr. Muzu, if we are talking about security, America, we all live in America, and we know America is very particular about the security of their president.
Right.
Can you, any of you, Dr. Atu, including Nanaya, including Ifa, can anybody tell me that Joe Biden, when he's traveling from one state to another, they carry a seat with him and they put a seat?
Americans don't practice tukbe the way we practice it.
Please, I mean, this is nobody can defend it, so we should not try to defend it. Number 2, the money allocation to the Office of Government Machinery. Last year, they had 2.53 billion Ghana cedi. It has shot up to 3.5 billion Ghana cedi.
Right.
What is accounting for it? If they want to cut down costs, they should look at that place and cut down costs. That's number 2 solution. Number 3 solution. We all know that the Auditor General put up a report there whereby we have 12.8 billion Ghana cedi being money misappropriated through irregularity. Okay? Yeah. They should find a solution to block those loopholes. And look, Mr. Muzu, this 6.7 billion that they are talking about, that they think is going to, it has become Akoba. That is what that e-levy has become. Now, no. Because when you go to Ghana, I remember the last time I went to Ghana, I had Akoba, that is what it has become. It has become e-levy has become Akoba.
You pass your 3 minutes. So
no. Just 1 minute. And I am saying that this thing is not going to hold. This government should be sensitive once for once. They should be sensitive and listen to the plight of Ghanaians. Injustices, the over expenses and all those things, they should cut it, and they can know that the 6.7 billion that they are looking for is going to be realized from if they reduce this all expenses. They stop renting the private jet, they stop putting a seat in the V8 for the president, they cut down on the irregularity. And Mr. Amos, don't forget, they lied to us. They've created the impression as if e-levy is going to solve every situation.
Yeah, we know minister will not do that. Thank you.
The road minister said, Mr. Amos Wamin, the road minister said e-levy is going to resolve when they pay the e-levy, roads will be constructed and all those things. Do you know how much in their own budget they've budgeted for road construction in 2022? You see, they should stop insulting our intelligence. The agriculture minister also came to say that with that e-levy, there will not be fertilizers for farmers. I mean, they should stop insulting our intelligence for once, because e-levy has now become Akobam for Nanaya and Dr. Atu and Ifa. Akobam, whereby me tia me ya, me konya me ya, me sisia me ya, me naya me ya. It is the solution for everything. Once they be able to look, as we speak, the World Bank.
Let's wrap it up.
One minute, Mr. Amos, 1 minute. I beg you, 1 minute.
2 minutes. You only needed 3. So,
Alfred, give him some of my time. Give him some of my time. Let him speak.
No. You wouldn't allow.
I take 1 minute of his time. You see, with COVID money, they got 33 billion Ghana cedi. As we speak, they will not be able to account for that 33 billion Ghana cedi. And they are now chasing 6.7 billion Ghana cedi. I leave it for the judgment of my colleagues over here. I rest my case.
Thank you. So, Daniel, has e-levy become Akobam? Because it appears, like Paul said, the road minister did say that, of course, once we do the e-levy, all the contractors will be paid. And that is not true. I mean, what is going on? I turn around and see things like the cake and the president living and all that. So how do we score this thing? How do you ask the citizens to tighten their belts, pay additional revenue while you are living, where you're living?
I think it's a matter of interpretation. E-levy is just one revenue stream, right? Government has a lot of revenue streams, and no one revenue stream has ever been sufficient, right? So it is a collective of different revenue streams that come together to form the envelope of revenue that government needs to match against expenditure. So if you take one revenue out and that doesn't come, then it means by the budget you have to go and do adjustment on other things, right? What that means is that making adjustment on other areas will mean that some other areas will suffer. So there will be trade-offs. So when he says that if e-levy doesn't come, your rate will not be constructed, he's not saying that the full amount of e-levy is what is going to pay all the outstanding road expenditure. I mean, that is not the essence. The essence is that we need every bit of revenue so that the way we plan our budget expenditure, we can be able to meet those items. And some of those expenditure items relates to road, some relates to fertilizer, some relates to all these other things. So if we don't get that money, the quantum of fertilizer that you need, we cannot provide it. The quantum of roads that you are looking for will not come. That is, I think, the essence of that communication. But you can't tell me that 6 million budget item line can pay for all the road construction that is going on. No, that is not, I think, what you're trying to say.
Yeah, Paul is also saying that the president is living ostentatiously, opulently, carrying seats in V8, following him and all that. What is your take on that? Do you think the president needs to also start with the austerity that, of course, is trying to impose on the citizens by the Minister of Finance promising to cut 20% of, budget until, at some point? Shouldn't he start from the presidency?
That chair that the president sits on, I don't think that it is peculiar to Akufo-Addo. Every government, when they go to the northern part of the Ghana, is there a chair there already that the president? Because that chair, whenever a president go everywhere, the seat of government,
but we didn't see Mahama carrying a chair around.
No, it's not about carrying it around. The fact that it is whenever he went to a function somewhere not Accra, the seat that he sits on, didn't you see that it was always one seat, unique seat, special?
Yeah, he carries it around.
Pardon?
He carries it around.
Yes, that is so. I've never seen it even in the north when I used to be the one the president come. The same seat that is sitting in Accra. It is this.
No. It's only in Akufo-Addo term. We've never seen that before.
I'm asking a question. Maybe when the president goes northern to the northern part of the country, the seat that he sits on is a special seat. It's not any other ordinary seat. Are we saying that there's a seat that have already been created there? That is in that part of the country.
Which president are you talking about?
I'm talking about all our presidents.
No,
nope.
All our presidents don't sit on the same seat when they go to the north.
So when they go to the north, what seat do they sit on? Their seat is just
whatever is provided to them.
Pardon?
Whatever is provided to them at the function.
Okay. All right. So let's assume that Akufo-Addo moves around with this seat.
Yeah.
A seat. You are telling me that even me, as a private person, if I take my Toyota Highlander, I can't put a private seat in my car and travel.
Except you're not a private person, and we are saying this president has a dedicated Lexus.
No, you don't get what I'm saying. When the president traveled, do you know the convoy, the minimum convoy that goes with him? They can't put it in any of those cars. Just a seat. Is that what we are saying?
Well,
sometimes that's what I'm saying. You see, when we trivialize the issues like that, then it becomes very difficult to discuss it because.
But not beyond the seats. I mean, he's still traveling with the private jets, the rental jets.
So why do you even bring up the seat? Because that makes the issue very small in my face. Now, okay, now let's go to the big item. The seat issue has been dealt with. Because as for seats, why should I come and sit here and be talking about a presidency? What space would that take in his convoy? That should be a whole national issue for me to be debating. I don't think for me
it's just the optics of it, the fact that the president is
that is politics.
I have a problem with that. I think
in that sense, I get it. That is politics. That is
Yeah.
politics. Yes, if that is politics and that feeds into some people's way of.
Okay, talk to me about the flight, the plane that he rents all the time, and he's on the tour again.
I'm sad that we still haven't gotten concrete answers when it comes to why the president still has to, fly. I don't know why the president still has to go by private jet, because I thought we were all looking for that answer when Okuja to file that answer, and I was very disappointed the Minister of Interior make that a national security issue and just hid it from us. For me, that was disappointing. That for me, I still stand by the fact that, hey, you guys have to take it serious and start talking to us about why this is going on. You can't just keep it within government circles when people want to understand what is going on. I think that is a low ball for us. And I myself, if I have my chance and I met them, I'll tell the guys, you can't take the people, if the people are concerned, as trivial as you see it, put it out there.
Right.
If you don't have anything to hide, I don't think you should keep this as some what do you call it, ritual secret or something. And I'm disappointed. That is one of the things that I usually feel very disappointed about, because it is not right. It is not coming out right. And for me,
thank you so much. Let's take Lifetime Legacy. Lifetime Legacy. I mean, you've heard Daniel. Daniel is equally disappointed as you are in terms of the president continuing to rent a private jet, which is costing us a lot of. I think this is something that we have consensus on, and I like that about that this show. The fact that even the two parties can come together and agree on something, right? What do you say about that in-your-face attitude, where you are seeing e-levy cakes being cut? As though we are trying to make fun of the entire Ghanaian population, who's, in very high numbers objecting this levy.
Before I come to the main question, Dr. Tu,
you have 3 minutes, please.
Yeah, Dr. Tu in his submission tried to be mischievous, but what I want to say regarding his question is that NDC, we are social democrats. Anything monumental you can mention of in Ghana is done by us. Anything monumental.
National Health Insurance, which is the very social program. Not free SHS, which is very social. Not so that's what he means by them doing a lot more of the social programs versus. It looks like you guys were the one doing the command.
If you don't consider passing electricity under water to a remote village like a farm plane, then I don't know what social intervention you are talking about. What socialism is about. Trying to share whatever the resources is, the government resources that is available to people irrespective of wherever they are. If this is not socialism, then I don't know what socialism is about.
I think that again is more. It's more like the social ones are usually transferring in nature, but you have a point though, kind of spreading the word. But it looks like Yeah.
So, Dr. Tu, anything monumental as far as sociality and socialism is concerned in Ghana was done by NDC.
So
We don't have co-equal. We don't have co-equal at all as far as those things are concerned.
A marquee intervention by the government. Not
let him talk. Let him talk.
Anyway, you see, Alfred.
Yeah.
Now, coming back to your question, as a political animal who have seen it, all governments losing and coming to power from 2000, let me tell you on authority, if any government is going to fall, I'm not speaking because my party stand the chance of winning the next election. But when you take note critically and you have been assessing how NDC lost in 2000, okay, things and events and how situations were and the posture of the government before we lost the election, and vis-a-vis what happened in 2008 prior to Kufuor losing election, and what happened in 2016 prior to we losing election, it is the same thing that is at play right now. Okay, that is where when you get to that status, you are on the road of losing. Anything that the Ghanaians complain about sound nonsense to you. That is exactly what this government is doing. You get it? So for me, I am not surprised.
Power kind of corrupts, or power makes, the officials arrogance. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that when it gets to that stage, when you are on the verge of losing, okay, everything sounds so rosary to you. You see that you are the only wisest person on in the country on earth.
Right.
You get it. You are the most intelligent, and by so
doing,
doing,
it's the second term curse. Once you win that second term,
you get it. You get it. Yeah. You see, you have amassed so much that you care less about what other people will be telling you.
Right.
You get it. I am speaking as a political animal. So whatever this government
of the animals is it a goat or elephant? Anyway, just
it's the eagle on the umbrella. So
I hear you.
So whatever this government is doing, for me, even though Kufuor have not done it equivalent, NDC have not done it equivalent, I am not surprised of the behavior of the president.
Okay.
I am not absolutely surprised at all.
Okay.
On the issue of the e-cake, it would have been an issue if that lie was not told.
Yeah.
Because, like I said earlier on, when you are in the verge of losing, the events and the situations, there's this kind of natural tendency that comes to play, where all that you are doing or the government will be doing at that time will not sound or make logic to the citizenry, but to them it makes sense.
Right.
You get it. So it is the natural tendency that is at play, and for me, the government is losing the levy thing. My colleagues have on the other side have said, opinion polls from prominent radio stations that are not affiliated to our NDC have conducted an opinion poll, and the outcome, it's out there.
Okay.
Nobody wants it. So for me, it's a natural tendency, and I'll continue the MPP to be doing more of these things so that it will inure to the benefit of my government or my
Thank
party.
you so much. Yeah, the NDC or the MPP continue to be arrogant and playing right into the hands of the NDC in 2024. So on that note, let me bring Afa Amayao. Afa, if you can see your face or you're in a compromising position. Anyway, Afa, do you agree that your government is really hitting that patch, that 8-year curse, where, again, the arrogance comes in, or the untouchableness comes in, and here you go, making fun of almost all, acting in a way that sounds like you're making fun of the people. At the same time, the president refusing to practice the same medicine that he's trying to feed to everybody else. You tighten your belt, but at the same time, he's not doing it or making any effort or any attempt to himself tighten his belt. Do you think, it is just that 8-year curse that is occurring in the NPP. And are you guys still committed to this breaking the 8 at all? Because I haven't been hearing that lately.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amudu. Yeah. You see how he fumbled and talking about NDC sending electricity to all Ghanaians. Is that what he's just said? Now, statistically,
he did about a lot of electricity.
Statistically, as of 2018 or so, it was just about 65% of the rural.
That's not true. They got up to almost about 80% before they left power.
Okay, I just Google it, so we can Google it and we can have all those statistics in place.
We've done a show on this before when we were doing the electrical.
But even that, they cannot say that they did all the 80 whatever percent, right? So if we go in by percentages, it is one of those places where one of those issues where this one that's a little bit, that one that's a little bit, and one of the
major. How many percentage have your government done?
Hello. Wait. Oh, you had your time. That's why I asked Ato not to interrupt. Okay, so you didn't appoint any percentage to it. You took everything, and you want to say that Kufuor didn't do any?
No, go ahead.
And this man didn't do any. You see, they do this. We go for the statistics, and then bam, they don't talk. They don't talk again. We let's go for the statistics and go for the percentage.
It's on record, the work that the NDC did in terms of extending electrification to.
Okay, but what I wanted to say is that a major aspect of it has to do with the tick, the tick tree, and who planted those tick trees. It was in the Buzia era. So by the time Rawlings came, it had matured. You can process it and use it for that. So why are you talking as if, you see, when we go into the specific, they will be found wanting. Okay, so going back to e-levy issues, right? What is it that NDC has supported? Is it health insurance? Is it free SHS? Is it the delivery of ambulances and drones?
The social interventions, yeah.
Yeah, these big stuff, ID cards, whatever. There's not a single thing that they've supported. But when they see the fruits of it, then they tell their people, hey, jump on it because it's good. But when you bring it in initially, they will be against it full time because they don't want the education for their people, because when they know that the people get educated, then everything is up the hook.
You're not answering my question. You have 3 minutes, but you're not answering my question.
Oh, yeah, when my time is up, take me off. So let's talk about the issue. Did you see in the budget, right, and in accounting to Parliament, as far as government issues are, did you see the issue about president's use of a jet becoming an issue? Did you see that?
What do you mean? I'm not following.
In the budget, did you see them talking specific to? You see the president's travel fall under national security, right? That is what the minister said when they came to Parliament.
Of that, yes.
Right. So that is that. In as much as we can say the expensive, these are a matter of government policies. And Okujeto being a member of Parliament, he just keep talking about it. Has he moved any motion to draft a policy that will guide these areas?
It's not a parliament. Parliament don't draft government policy for government. It's government who drafts government policy.
Yeah, but they can also make suggestions and go. Okay, so going back on that, right? This is a rehash of 08. If you go back to 008, they bash Kufuor, you doing this, you doing that, you traveling too much, you go in here. They came and they did so to when we asked them. They said, oh, we criticized wrongly. It is the same thing. Are they telling us?
You are okay with the president traveling on
which lane should he use? We've been told that the current Falcon can't go to Europe. That's what we've been told.
He just went to France for servicing.
Servicing is different from going on official. People in there.
You see the way Ifa is laughing. He cannot even defend himself. You see the way he's laughing.
No. I'm not defending myself. You can take you may spark your car. It may not go a certain distance, but you want to take it for 7. It can go several miles. So
really?
if you of course.
Ifa's logic. A first logic. You take it. A first logic.
You park your car, you can't move. You can't take it to service miles away from you. Who told you that doesn't happen?
This one is definitely not coming from the Jubilee House.
That is happening. So I don't really know how military and how they service these things. But you see, again, the president does not sit down and tell the security agencies this and this and this is what I want. He may give a general thing, but hey, once you get there, they tell you, Mr. President, for this and this and that, this and this is how it goes. I don't see anything to do with ostentatious stuff over there. More so when we have West Africa with all these security challenges and all that. Let the security people handle it. And if they are at fault, let Parliament question them and we take it up from there. Should be a matter of policy. Mahama will come and use it. He won't come and say, take this off, take this off. If Kwabena Dufour comes, he will come and use it. Now, on the issue of the e-levy, okay?
The cake.
What happened with Oseche Mensah Bunsu?
1 minute, yeah.
He did not. He was not the one who did that. Okay? You see, the man he doesn't want to mention. That is why when you came, right, I didn't want to also go back. Do you know who that man is? We don't want to go. Yes, we don't want to go into much details as far as that is concerned.
If you can tell us, that would be great. I mean,
I'm not going to do that, but we are all keeping those information to ourselves. Okay? There are friends on both sides.
But
the political,
he can reject it. If he should be sensitive to the times.
Okay, hold on.
You know what?
He rejecting it is taking the position that government has rejected the e-levy. Government has not rejected, and if I was there, I would have taken a big chunk of it. This has nothing to do with. Okay, hold on. This has nothing to do with laughing any Ghanaian or something like that. No, it has absolutely nothing to do with that. You guys are the one twisting the narrative to do that. I still believe that the e-levy, if passed, if the monies are collected, will help the Ghanaian economy, will help as far as the things they've allocated is concerned. You don't believe that. That doesn't mean when we are doing things like, town hall meetings to educate them and stuff like that, you can come here and mock it, but it's part of listening and getting consensus so that when it's passed, we won't have people threatening us that they're going to make coup or people kidnapping our people or something like that. That's what government is trying to avoid, because there are some people who are really, really planning some evil. We have some intelligence. That's why the things are delaying.
The cake is OR of UTV. Is that correct?
You said what?
Somebody from UTV is who sent the cake, right?
Okay, cake came. The person who sent it, I'm not gonna go into that. But that was not the official cake anyway. It wasn't like the man did that as his cake. Somebody presented it to him. So that is it. If I was there, I would have enjoyed it. That is what I want to say. It has nothing to do with insensitivity. No, I disagree.
Dr. Ato, would you have enjoyed the cake if you were there?
Yes, but I want to take a picture with the cake. I mean, if someone shoves the cake in your face, just like it's an example of what happened in the UK with the British president. It says someone shoved the cake and he ate it. I mean, the optics are really bad. It's very sensitive that. I mean, if someone gives you a cake, you eat it, but you don't take a picture with that and then publish that.
And then publish it, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I agree with Lifetime. It's like George Orwell would say that corruption corrupts.
Corrupts absolutely, yeah.
Yes. And also familiarity breeds contempt. It's like right now we are so used to these politicians that they think they can do anything and everything. It's massive arrogance. I mean, I can agree that you're having your birthday party, someone brings something to you, you eat it. But then the way and manner, like they took pictures with, like they're laughing about it. It's like, it sends really bad optics.
Right.
It sends really bad. Like people are discussing this in town hall meetings. We are not even done with it yet. And then you go taking pictures laughing about it. It's like you don't care about Ghanaians.
Yeah, you are the majority leader. When you see that, you could know, you should tell that somebody's trying to set you up. Yes. You could say, you know what, let's set this aside. I know you are being nice to me and you're bringing this cake to me my birthday, but please. For the sake of the times we are in,
I wouldn't fault him eating the cake. I mean, someone gives you a cake, but coming up with pictures like that was no good. I wouldn't refuse a cake someone gives me on say on a birthday, but I wouldn't be proud.
If you bring me an E-levy cake and in the time we are, and I'm a majority leader of parliament, I will reject it. I will tell you, take it away, because that right there, it's setting me up. It's gonna make you look bad, and that is exactly what happened. So he can use his judgment. He's been in this game for how long?
I know. Well, that's one part of it, and I also agree with Paul about the president using the jet. I think by now the money we spent with that renting the jet, we have probably bought a new one. But I disagree that we should still use the old one. If the president thinks, if I buy, like I said, a car for my wife, I use the car for say 5 years, and I give it to my wife. My wife tells me the car I have, say, a BMW or a Mercedes Benz. She tells me the car is not roadworthy. I wouldn't challenge my wife and say, hey, no, I used the car 4 years ago, so it's okay. I would suggest that we buy a new one, but I would not rent another Benz or another BMW for my wife every time she travels. That's reckless. That's not what prudent people should do.
That's not protection of the public purse.
No.
That is
no. It's like I said, if it was your own money, would you do that? No. It's because it's not your own money. You probably think renting is good. So that's not right. The last point I say is about the chair. So at my workplace, I don't have a personal space. I share an office. When I do is I clean the place. So there are different people with different personalities. Some people are very OCD about stuff like that. So although the optics are really bad about seeing the president carrying the chair all the time, I don't see it's really something grave.
Right.
I don't see, but I can sense that people seeing the president moving from say Accra to the north or to Brunga Half carrying the chair in one. But like I said, people have different. Like we live in Africa, we have African electronics that we don't have over here. So people read meanings into. But I would not carry a chair from anywhere else. Although when I go to my workplace, I make sure I clean the surfaces and make sure everything's okay.
Hey, the other actor comment is telling you that car rental should not be equated with an airplane rent charter. So
yes,
car rental is a little minimal, but a plane charter is expensive, and even there's national security implications because the pilots and they're not part of our national security outfit. These are not our Air Force men. And so there's just so much implications in there that it's I think the president should stop it.
Yes, they should just buy a new plane. But I'm saying it's not bad that he is using his own.
After they won't let us buy a new one. Everything they are against.
All right, guys.
You are putting the president in a fix.
Yeah, I am against presidential jet.
Okay,
I am against presidential jet, but I'm not against national airline. What prevents the president from getting us national airline?
That's going to be your last word, okay? That's going to be your last word.
National airline. Everything move it here.
Okay. Last time, like I said, give me a 30 seconds last word and let's get out of here.
Yeah, like I said, and we all have said on this platform, the president should be sensitive enough towards the call of Ghanaians, and also our security institutions must not treat Ghanaians as second-class citizens.
All right.
Every Ghanaian's right must be respected. We are not in a kangaroo era. We are in a democratic era. So people must be allowed to express themselves freely, as it was done yesterday during Mahama's era.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you give me your 30 seconds last words? Let's go.
Did you call me?
30 seconds last words. Let's go.
Oh, okay. Governance is a very big project. Okay. And so what we should all know is that what we all should know is that it takes a lot to govern. Okay. For us in the MPP, we pride ourselves with what we've done for Ghanaians, and we can mention the free SH and all that kind of stuff. Big stuff, nationalistic in nature, and we are always ready to do more. Now, the issue about media and stuff like that, there is a responsibility on Ghanaians, on the people in the media to be truthful. And in most cases, we've seen media men aligning themselves with politicians and engaging in insensitive and, highly national issues. Be truthful. You are the last resort and stuff like that. If you infringe on people's rights, they have a right. If it borders on national security, they have a right to come and ask you, and you are supposed to give them information so they will avoid other Ghanaians dying. Anything short of that, I'm afraid that is what it is.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for those last words. If you are short of respect, that you should blame yourself. Paul, please give us your last words and let's call it a day here.
So I think Ifa is telling us that the president is using the private jet because of security advice. I also want to know, is there the security that advised him that he should carry Sewa Bruni on the private jet? That one I don't know. It's left to Ifa. Number two, I want to also state over here that Ifa is suffering, Dr. Two is suffering, Alfred is suffering, I am suffering, Ghanaians are suffering because of the incompetence of the late Nana Addo Dankwa and Bawumia government.
All right.
Number three, I want to say over here that the e-levy that they are talking about, we all know that it has become e-akubam. Akubam, mitiya meya, mekonya meya, misisiya meya, menaya meya. If that is what it is, we leave it for them. Thank you.
One question. Alfred, can I ask one question, please?
Okay, I don't know. We gotta go, Alpha.
Paul, why is the speaker using 16 security? He wants to make a
Oh my God. I thought if you can give us your last words so we can go, please.
So my last words, what I took from this week was that we all love Ghana, but we have to be very, very circumspect. We have to be tempered and measured in whatever we say. I can understand people will be frustrated, but it's better that you live in your home freely than spend a day or two in jail. My regards to listeners and viewers, especially Dr. Tubedu, my namesake.
Thank you so much. Dr. Tubedu, I was actually trying to join the show. Dr. Tu, I sent you the link, but for some reason you were not able to join us. Hopefully you can join us next week. Matter of fact, next week I'm traveling to Belarus. Is it Belarus, Louisiana? So we would not be on, unless, I told you want to host the show. But if any of you are interested in hosting, please let me know and I'll set it up for you and, we can have the show. But otherwise, I would not be here next week. On that note, thank you so much for coming and thanks for all the contributions, and to all the viewers, as usual, thank you for joining the show. Please let your friends who could benefit from this show know that we do have serious conversations on the Ghana Agenda every Saturday between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. and sometimes it goes all the way to 5. Again, my name is Alfred Amuzu. Thanks for watching today's show. If it is Saturday, it's the Ghana Agenda time. On that note, enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you next week or a week after. Cheers.